Random question of the week. If you had to fight Kevin Durant, what would be your strategy?
That's interesting. I would.
All right. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of 2 and 6 Sports, your favorite two guys with 6 beers and sports podcast. Got my Freddie JP here again.
You're Freddie.
My Freddie. I'm already into this can a little bit, but JP over here. For those of you who watched, I think 2 weeks ago's episode, it's episode number 7. I had my buddy Joe on here, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan. We went over the picks from last year. You remember how I had you guys make some picks and stuff like that for the weekly games?
Yep.
You know what you went?
No, what?
Do you know what you went like for the picks? Do you know what you did? You picked
no,
32
no
games.
Rise? No.
On all the episodes that you were on, you picked 32 games. You got 24 of them right.
Was that like number 1 on the rankings?
Yeah, by far.
Wow.
Way by far.
If only I could pick them when I actually put money on them.
That's what I was saying. I was like, oh, it's ironic because JP is the biggest bettor in the office, you know?
Why isn't he a millionaire by now?
I know. It was crazy.
Hey,
24 and 6 he went. That's
I know
insane.
my football, man.
I guess.
Football.
I guess. It's nuts, dude.
Yeah.
24 and 6.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. 26 and 4. Nope.
Because it would be 32,
Nope.
right?
20.
26 and 6?
You were...
Or
I have it right here.
8?
I have it right here. I'm trying to avoid looking at it. You were 24 and 8.
Okay. And who was the second?
Second place, as far as percentage-wise, it was probably Milton at 18 and 10.
Oh, okay. So I came in with the hammer.
Yeah, you came in with the hammer, dude. You laid it down. I was 44 and 38.
Too, right? Just straight ups. Yeah.
Just straight ups. Yeah. Just straight ups. Yeah, you were good at that.
You know my X's and O's, man.
Like I've said before many times, I pick with my heart.
Yeah.
You know? I don't necessarily pick logically.
Neither do I. I bet one of those losses was a Patriots thing that I took the Pats on.
Probably. Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Honestly, both weeks it was probably.
I'll take the Pats because I believe in them, but
shame on you.
That's good. I mean, I love gambling. I love betting, and if only that would transition to when I actually pick up my phone and actually put the bets in, that would be great. I did win like $700 from Twin River one day when I was there on the Bucks-Lions game.
The Bucks-Lions?
What divisional game? Or no, wild card game?
I remember you told me about this, but what could you have possibly bet in that game that would have gotten you $700?
I put the Lions money line. I put the over total, which was like 53. I put a Laporta receptions over 3.5. I put a St. Brown anytime 0.5 over touchdown and receiving, and Mike Evans the same over 0.5 touchdown. The game was Laporta got his in the second quarter. The fourth quarter, St. Brown scored, and then a garbage touchdown. Like the Lions, I think, were up by like 9 or 10 at the time, maybe 13. And then Evans scored a touchdown late with like 3 minutes left, which hit the over, also hit the Evans tutty.
Oh.
So, and I was running up and down that place.
What were you most worried about on that parlay? What leg were you most worried about? I would think the over.
That's a good question. Honestly, in the first quarter, they weren't throwing to Laporta, and I knew they were going to.
Yeah,
but like
you only needed 4 receptions, right?
Yeah, but like he got that in the second quarter. But like once he got that, I was like, all right, St. Brown will score a touchdown. But then they kept on handing the ball off, and I was like, and you had to keep the game close. My biggest guarantee, I thought, was Evans, but Evans kept on dropping balls all day, and in the fourth quarter, he finally came out and put up some receptions and yards, and Baker threw like a crossing route to him in the end zone. Boom.
They made that a game, Tampa Bay.
At the end, they did. Thank you. So, yeah, that was a big win. And that was like in the actual sports book that we did it.
That's cool. That's a cool little event, right?
Yeah.
Instead of doing it on your phone.
Right, yeah. You're surrounded by like the betting people, and people are yelling and screaming about other small bets they're doing or whatever.
That's fun.
And then I'm yelling and screaming about other bets, so you hear like opposing things. Like you're like, oh no, Evans has scored. I had him under, and I'm like, yes. You know, I had the whole under. Why'd they score a tutty? And I'm like, I had the over.
Is there like so I've never been to a sports book. Is there predominantly like one type of person that goes there? Like if you look around. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's all male. I'll say that.
Well, yeah. Dude, if you see a chick at a sports book, you know she's got fucking problems.
You do. Like, sometimes you do, but they're with their boyfriends or whatever. And when they go to, like,
alone, but
the kiosk to bet or whatever, they're just, like, standing next to him with their arms folded, looking around, not knowing what to do, how to act or anything like that. But, yeah, I mean, demographically, it's all shapes and sizes and ages.
Really?
And
wow.
ethnicities, yeah, it's everybody. So it's a melting pot.
That's fun.
I mean, betting nothing's better than gambling with people and winning with people, especially your friends. I love doing group gamble bets and like winning together.
People get fired up. You know, you look at the stranger and you connect immediately. High five. It's the best.
Yeah, exactly. It's like being on sharing for the same sports team, but you're sharing for your bank account to grow a little bit.
Totally.
You know?
I was telling my girlfriend about that, just saying like she's never been to a football game. Or no, she has. I'm sorry. I forget what the example was specifically, but I was just saying, like, even if you're not cheering for that team, it's electric. You know, like just going to a sporting event where everybody is rooting for the same thing. Like, everybody's behind the same cause. You know, and like you could feel it. It's an energy. You know, I definitely got to go to an Eagles game in Philly.
Atmosphere, like it gets you into that atmosphere a little bit. Like,
it's like a real tangible thing. You know, you can't see it.
I'm not a fan of any team, but the home team and the home crowd gets me going. I'm like, hey, you know, I'll clap. Good job.
Absolutely.
And I'll clap for nice plays.
You know where that's truer more so than anywhere else, I think, is Fenway Park.
How so?
Of all the sports teams, like I'm a Celtics fan. That's the only Boston sports team that I'll root for. But being in Fenway, you have to root for the Red Sox. It's impossible to not.
True.
Like I remember being a fan of the Yankees. And then, like, Sweet Caroline comes on, you're like, fuck, I really want to
sing.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, exactly.
You want to sing.
Yeah, so, like, I think the Red Sox have it. Like, I think the Red Sox, as far as, like, the fan base goes, Red Sox fans are the best over Patriots fans.
I mean, the most loyal and most...
Yeah.
Well, it's old blood, I think.
The guys always... Well, that's true.
It's old... Like, it's like, you know...
I don't know a lot of young kids who watch baseball.
The Sox have been around forever. So have the Celtics, so it's old. Bruins, too. It's old. It's passed down from generation to generation. The Patriots weren't really, 1960 they came around, and they weren't really that good up until now. Now you're going to see that in the future, but that deep-rooted establishment through families and growing as that fan and being in the house that your dad's rooting for that team, so you're going to sit next to him and root for that team, and they have posters all over the place or whatever the case may be. That's where that comes from, I think, up here. Same with New York, too. It's like, you know, I've been to Yankee Stadium as a Sox fan. Loved it. I've been
that's awesome.
Yeah, you know, I've been to a Brooklyn Nets game against the Celtics. Fun. But I mean, the Red Sox, I love Fenway, nothing better. But I'm not giving money to that team right now.
I haven't really been following them. I don't know. It feels like since Theo Epstein left, they've just been, you know, they've gone down. Well, they won a World Series, right, since he left, but
yeah, they won a couple. Yeah, I mean, they're good and then they're bad. And now
it's like the Eagles.
Now the owners own a bunch of other things.
The
Fenway Sports Group, they call them.
Yeah.
And now they're spending money on other things. They just sold. They're going to do a Netflix documentary about the 2024 Red Sox, and they haven't done anything in free agency. They're watching their balance sheets on the Red Sox. When you're a big market team in baseball and everybody else is spending money and you're not, but your ticket prices are still high. It costs like a family of four to go to Fenway. I'm just guesstimating here like $400 on a Saturday afternoon because of the tickets.
Yeah, if you're sitting anywhere
the
decent,
food, the concessions, all that. It's insane. So I'm a Red Sox fan, but I will not pay to watch them in Fenway this year.
That's fair. Yep. Like if I were so I said I'm a Celtics fan, ironically, but if I were a 76er fan, I would never pay money to go watch that team.
No. Why?
Because it's a ridiculous team.
Yeah.
It's Joel Embiid, and then he'll get hurt, and Tobias Harris, who doesn't do shit.
Yep.
Like, he's capable of it. I don't know what he's doing. What's Tobias Harris doing? He's making all this money, and he just doesn't show up most of the time. And then it's just Tyrese Maxey.
You're right.
What else do they have? Nothing.
They're a mid-tier team with a superstar that overachieves, and then they get blown out. Like, Celtics own them in the playoffs.
How do you get hurt playing basketball? Joel Embiid is hurt every year. How do you do? It's basketball.
It's wear and tear, man. It's like, one injury leads to the next injury, leads to the next injury over the years. And it's mostly Embiid's like legs and stuff too. So that's not good for a big man.
I get like jumping up and you land on someone else's foot, you roll your ankle. But that's not what's happening.
No, it's like Embiid being Embiid. He's made of glass. He's a big man that's made of glass. He's a big man that plays outside.
All right, well.
But anyway,
it is odd to me that so many basketball players get hurt. But I'll tell you what, ending that segue, yeah, if I was a 76er fan, I wouldn't give them money either. We will, a little teaser here. We will get back to basketball for the random question of the week. But right now, we're on to new coaches, new coaching hires.
Nice.
New NFL coaching hires.
What do you think?
Woo!
What do you think?
Let's see. Let's run down the list. We got Jim Harbaugh.
Biggest splash.
For the Los Angeles Chargers. I still want to say for San Diego. Mike McDonald to the Seahawks. Who is he? Who's Mike McDonald?
He was, I believe, the defensive or offensive coordinator for the Ravens.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he was on the Ravens somewhere.
Yep. And he's young. They're going more young, too, you can see, right? 38.
Yeah, 36-year-old Dave Canales to the Carolina Panthers. I know my Tampa Bay Buccaneers friend was upset that they lost Dave Canales.
And nobody really wanted that job because the owner's a POS.
Yeah, I mean, he ran Frank Reich out of the building. Frank Reich wanted C.J. Stroud.
Yep.
He's like, no, I want Bryce Young.
I want Bryce Young. And look how that's turning out.
But, I mean, this is all easy in hindsight and retrospect and all that good stuff. Do you really think C.J. Stroud would have been as good in Carolina? I don't.
He would have been.
I don't think he would have had
Bryce Young. I think
that's fair, but I don't think CJ. I don't think he would have had
switched spots. I think Houston's not as good. Carolina's a little better with Stroud.
It's an interesting scenario to play out because you just don't know. There's no way to know, right? What would Bryce Young look like
unless you simulate a Madden
year?
season, you know? But you're right. But I think just the intangible CJ Stroud showed this year, and the moxie as a professional quarterback, as a rookie, he would have at least won Carolina more games.
I think so too.
Yep,
I think so too.
Carolina would still have their picks.
I'll tell you what was a hell of a move though. It was Houston moving back up to get Will Anderson after they took CJ Stroud.
Yep. Didn't you win money on? No, you didn't. No.
I did.
Yeah, you did.
I won money because I said Will Anderson would be taken
third or fourth overall.
No, it was second or third. It was one of those two. Whatever. It was third because the Texans moved up to third to get him. I knew it was going to be two QBs, and then Will Anderson was going because no one was going to take Jalen Carter after the racing incident.
Yeah.
That was a really man. If every bet was that easy, I'd be a millionaire.
I know, right? Right.
That's what gets you. That's what gets you every time.
That's the love of it's gambling. It's the
love it.
It's the
love the rush.
Woulda, shoulda, coulda kind of thing.
Yeah, it's exciting because it's like gambling is like it's the possibilities that's so exciting.
I love it.
Right?
You have such open thought of, hey, I could, let's see what happens at let's see what happens. And then the game starts playing out. You're like, oh God, I need like 127 yards from this guy, and it's the third quarter.
Yeah, it usually turns around real quick.
Yeah,
the whole attitude around it.
Oh my
Once
God!
the game starts,
I was chalking that Bucks and Lions game up as a loss. I put $50 on it, and I was like, all right, it's an L. And then I started looking.
50.
50.
You only put 50 on it, and that was a $700 payout for all that.
It was like $658, $659, something like that.
I don't even understand that because your parlay wasn't even that crazy.
I parlayed a bunch of props together, and once you parlay a bunch of props together, you start like, all right, now everything has to hit.
You know what?
And
that is fair.
Possibilities of
that's fair.
Those hitting.
I've only been doing $10 for those like big leg parlays, and the payouts are usually like 200 or whatever. So now doing the math, it makes sense that 50 would have been that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, good for you, buddy. Let's see. So
I don't usually put 50 on, like, that was just a special because I was there,
Yeah, you didn't have any special feelings about it. You were just like,
and I was up at the casino too. So I was like, I'm here. Let's just have fun.
Yeah, well, you'd be a fool not to. You know, it'd be a wasted opportunity.
Yeah.
So now, all right. So look, we got Jim Harbaugh, Mike McDonald, Dave Canales, Raheem Morris to the Atlanta Falcons.
Is that his second stint?
Second stint.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, in Atlanta, I don't know, but I know it's his second stint as a head coach.
Okay,
unsuccessful the first time.
The Bucks.
I think he was the Bucks head coach. Yeah,
I think he was with, or they wanted him a couple years ago and they couldn't get him or something. And
you know what? I think he's going to be a terrible head coach, but he seems like an awesome guy. And did you see his press conference where he was talking about like going home and like he loves the Falcons, he loves Atlanta, and this is where he wanted to be and whatnot. And like he was talking about how special it is to be able to like come home and like, I get a dream job, but I also get to come home and do it. it was nice. You know, it was nice to see like
It's
a dream
nice
come
story.
true almost.
Right?
You know,
And they have an aspiring team. They're ready. Like they're a quarterback away. They did good in the draft for the last couple of years. They just haven't been using. Arthur Smith didn't use those pieces.
I liked their free agency last year. They had a good offseason last year.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And they have like $1 billion owner who's Arthur Blank, who wants a ring before he dies.
Do you think? Just a quick sidetrack here. Do you think Bill said no, or do you think Arthur Blank said no?
I think I heard from reporters that Arthur Blank wanted Bill because of the stature and all that stuff, and like the name. He wanted to get a big fish for his legacy. But his internal people, after bringing it back to him, they said, "No, this is the guy. We need more a more players coach. We need this type of person to manage to coach these younger people, these 23, 24-year-old rising stars."
I think that was
so.
A good
I
move.
think Blank wanted it, but he listened to his people. And when you're 81 and you're reaching, you put your ego aside and kind of say, "All right, well, let's." Yeah.
If Bill was, I think Bill wasn't willing to give up personnel control.
That's it too. I was just gonna say that.
I think if he was willing to do that, there would be a lot more teams who would be willing to bring him on. I think the fact that Bill wants total control of the franchise is too much for people, you know?
Yep. I know. Yeah, I can get to that too later.
I mean, think about it. Like when you guys won those first 2 or 3, it was Scott Pioli, you know?
Yeah. You know?
And then, I don't know. It seemed like there was just chaos from there on out. Like you won some years, you lost a lot of years. It's won some. I don't know. It just was.
And I'm not gonna lie. Like even after when he became the GM and like he had that whole control. I'm not gonna start a debate here, but he always had that one piece, that one player that would make everything okay.
Like who?
Number 12.
Oh yeah.
He always had that. Now without 12, without Brady. He's drafting, and he doesn't have a cover for those guys.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he can't cover those picks up by having a quarterback, a Hall of Famer, a winner, the greatest of all time. So that's.
I want him to get another coaching job very badly, though, just so it can be validated one way or the other. Because if he just leaves now and never coaches again, I think I can definitively say it was all Tom, but I don't think the world, you know, especially Patriots fans.
I'm older than you, and the first 3 was
no, they weren't all Tom. No. But at the same time, those weren't Bill's players either. Like that was a godly like the defense was like.
No, I think last time the first podcast I was on with you, I told you a story about how when Bill got hired again, or Bill got hired by the Patriots, he coached them in like '96 when they went to the Super Bowl, and they had all those young defensive players. And Kraft and then they hired Carroll. That wasn't a good fit. And then Kraft talked to the players, talked to his premier defensive guys, the Ty Laws, the Teddy Bruschi's, the Lori Malloys, the Will McGinnis, and they said, "We want Bill."
Yeah, I remember hearing this.
And then that's why. So they had the players, but they said they wanted this coach. So like when they brought him in, it was a perfect marriage. You know, they appeased the player. Kraft appeased the players by bringing in Bill, and they played for him. They knew exactly what his coaching style was already.
You know, my only issue with it is the fact that Tom was able to go to Tampa and win a Super Bowl so fast. You know, if he went to Tampa and made like the NFC Championship game all those years or whatever, and never made it to, then I'd be like, look, maybe there's something here.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that Tom was able to literally just walk over somewhere else. Did he win it the first year? Or was it the second?
He won it the first year
That's insane.
against Mahomes.
That's insane. You know, like
he had a team ready to go to. Let's say this: if
He
Bill
did.
got the Cowboys job, if somehow like McCarthy got fired and Jerry Jones called and Bill went there, the Cowboys have all the pieces. I think Bill would have brought that team further.
That'd be
farther
interesting.
It would have been
very
would
interesting.
have been the best thing for the NFL.
Because like the biggest problem with Dallas has always been discipline.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, that's what Bill does, right?
And showing up when it matters the most. Like they can win 13 games in the season, all fun and stuff.
Mhm.
They can beat Washington 52-7. they can kill their opponents, the weaker ones. But when it comes to the primetime premier games, the pressure games, the playoff games, the home playoff games against the Packers, Bill has that team ready. McCarthy doesn't.
I mean, I know McCarthy doesn't. That guy's a bum. I'm
he's
surprised
still
he's
a
back.
coach. Yeah, right.
Very surprised he's back. All right, let's see.
Brian Callahan and yep, Antonio Pierce. What do you think about
Pierce?
the Raiders keeping him after being interim?
I think it's interesting. Usually you get actually a knock on you for being an interim coach. You won't even get an interview most of the time. So it's very interesting.
The players spoke up, like the key players, like Devontae Adams. Did you hear Ocho Cinco's now a coach for the Raiders too? I don't know what role, but like he just got hired as a coach for I think wide receivers coach maybe.
He wanted to be on the Eagles staff.
Oh, did he?
Mm-hmm.
They wouldn't let him?
I guess not.
Yeah, I think last night.
He was publicly saying it.
Last night or yesterday, he just they hired him as a coach. So.
Well, good for him. I liked Ocho Cinco.
I think nowadays too, people will listen to players or listen to coaches that played the game in the NFL. You know?
I agree. I think Pierce is. I mean, they were galvanized under him. So let's see what happens. Fuck it.
Yeah,
Why
right.
not?
Yeah,
You know?
we have nothing to lose. Yeah,
exactly. Like if I'm the owner, that's what I'm saying.
And we have all these high contracts old contracts where we're gonna figure it out. Like if this isn't the year, we're gonna retool anyway in a couple of years.
Yeah,
so
who gives a
that's
shit?
just like
you have nothing to lose. Go for it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep.
See if I'm rooting for Antonio Pierce. I like that story. I'm rooting for it. Brian Callahan, Tennessee Titans. Who the fuck is this guy? Was he a Bengals defensive coach or offensive?
I think OC. I think.
Okay.
But
Titans coach.
They should have never let Vrabel. I think I don't even know why Vrabel didn't get another job.
I heard that people were intimidated.
No, that's
Did you hear that?
Yeah, that's a Diana Rossini report.
Well, she
people
full of shit.
She used to like sprinkle stuff on Sunday mornings about the Patriots.
Oh, Diana Rossini is just a hot take artist, huh?
Yeah,
just in it for the money.
Yeah, she'd be like, "Oh, Belichick and Brady are not even talking. Like they were like having meetings every day.
She's trying to build her career off of hot takes.
Kind of, yeah. Like so, I don't trust
Who would do that?
Don't sue me for defamation of character here, but I don't trust what she says, and some of the stuff is so comical. It's like he's sitting there intimidated to owners, to billionaires or whatever, and they're the interviewer, but. You want that role when you're dealing with 250-pound linemen that have grown up in football.
That's like our new defensive line coach. You know who Clint Hurd is?
No.
He was...
Oh, wait.
He was the Seahawks defensive coordinator last year, but he's our defensive line coach now. He's going to be coaching up Jalen Carter. Look at this big fuck.
Big boy.
Guy's gigantic, dude. I think that's part of why they hired him, to get a fire lit under Jordan Davis's ass. How is like some little bookworm guy gonna be able to do that? You know what I mean? You got to get someone bigger than the big guy to do it, right?
Yep.
You'd think.
In some points, yeah. But then you look at like the Mike McDonald's or the McDaniel, sorry, yeah, the Dolphins coach, little kind of like hipster.
Well, he's not a defensive guy. Remember, he had Vic Fangio as his defensive coordinator.
True. Okay, so, you're right. Yeah,
you know,
you're right. But even Vic Fangio, this old Italian guy that's been in the league forever, you know, I get your point, but I don't fully agree with it.
Yeah, there's always outliers.
Sure,
you know, there's never, and nothing's ever,
it's like gambling. You know, it's a crapshoot. It's you're gonna gamble on this guy to get the fire on under Jalen Carter. I'm sure Jordan Davis.
But we're playing at the blackjack table, best odds, baby.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Brian, I don't like the Brian Callahan. I don't understand why they didn't just keep Vrabel. I don't think the issue was coaching. The issue was personnel.
It was, yeah.
So I don't.
And
they
just drafted Levis, who showed promise, you know, and they're still stuck in the Henry contract. They could have made it work with Vrabel, and they could have rebuilt with Vrabel.
Your boy Gerard Mayo, New England Patriots. He's new head coach. You happy about that?
I am, and people are going to say the negative here would be, well, he's from the Bill coaching tree, and they don't really. We wanted someone new. We wanted a new voice, and that's all. And I agree with that. Here's what I say: is Vrabel was a player for the Patriots, won a Super Bowl with the Patriots in 2014. He knows how to win. But he saw the good years, but he also saw as the defensive coordinator or whatever role he was in, he also knows the bad years. He knows what to do and what not to do now. And he's not Belichick.
Couldn't you have made that argument for Bill, though, this last year? Couldn't you have said, like, Bill, you had a shitty year last year. You know what not to do now.
No, but Bill, like, Bill's 70 whatever years old.
Stuck in his ways.
He's stuck. Like
Gerard Mayo being
there's
37.
some people that can't adapt, and it is what it is. All right, fine. If you had such success doing one thing for 20 years, and then the next 3 or 4 years you don't have as much success, you're gonna look at the sample size and be like, well, out of the 25 years, 20 of those years were great. So 80%.
You look at it as like a blip, as opposed to a trend change.
This is just a stub into the toe for the next 4 years.
It's dangerous.
But I think Mayo he's more open. His staff. He's bringing outside staff, which is great. Like he's bringing young coordinators, young position coaches. And again, he knows how to win, and he also knows what to do to avoid losing or building a bad team. And he's going to listen. He doesn't know. The greatest thing about Mayo is he doesn't know anything in the sense of building personnel. Bill thought he knew everything.
Oh, that's
so
okay.
Mayo's now going to go to the experts.
Did you guys get a GM?
We have like a person who was internal, Elliot Wolf.
Was he the GM while Bill was there?
You can say
but he wasn't picking players. He was just like,
he was like advising
GM.
Bill to do it. But apparently Ben McAdoo, the former Giants
he sucks.
Coach,
that guy sucks.
He sucks. But I heard, and this is the perfect thing for the Patriots now because they have the number 3 pick. I heard he is, and I read from numerous reporters that he has a great sense of scouting players and knowing who's who. He had the draft year where Allen was drafted and Lamar was drafted. He had them like 2 and 3 in quarterbacks when they were drafted later on. Like he had both of them up high on his list. So he knows what he's looking at when it comes to scouting and personnel and all that. So, which is good because that 3rd pick in the draft is that 3rd pick and that 2nd round pick is going to is really going to forecast how we do the next 5 or 6, 7 years. What we're looking at for the next. Like,
Very
this
true.
Is a big.
It's huge when you're picking in the top 5. It's massive.
I haven't been here since Bledsoe years, so this is in the early '90s. So this is uncharted territory. So I'm looking to look.
No, go ahead.
I'm just looking at about all the positives here about the new blood, the younger coach,
it's fresh,
the coach that played in the NFL. That has respect to the players, and we'll see. I'm excited to start the season already because I want to see what Mayo. I'm like almost excited to go through this offseason.
We're so far away from it too. It sucks, right?
The good thing about the NFL, it's a year. It's a whole year of stuff because we always like everyone's always talking about it.
Draft, free agency.
Yep, the free agency starts in March, I think.
What really does suck though is after the draft, there's a big lull. There's a summertime lull, Yeah,
and then the OTAs, the rookie camps, and then they start nitpicking on rookie.
But we have a good solid 2 months no football, which really blows.
Yeah, but that's what. Yeah, but then
we do get it most of the year, which is awesome. But I mean, the last 2 the Eagles have picked 2 times in my lifetime in the top 5, and we got Carson Wentz, got us a Super Bowl. He's a bum now, but he got us a Super Bowl, and then Lane Johnson.
Super Bowl,
huge.
Yep,
huge picks.
Yep.
And then close out the new head coaches. We got Dan Quinn going to the Commanders, which I don't get, to be honest with you. I think the Dan Quinn hire to the Commanders is I can make the same point, and it'll affect both coaches. So like Ben McAdoo was a shitty head coach, but that doesn't mean that he can't be. Was he your offensive coordinator? Because he was a successful. He was
like an offensive assistant or something.
He was an offensive guy before he became the Giants head coach and totally blew it. And he was good before that.
Yeah.
So it doesn't just because you can't do one job well doesn't mean that you can't excel in another.
Correct. Yeah.
So in that same note,
I mean, Dan Quinn was a defensive coordinator for the Seahawks during their Legion of Boom years.
But this is my issue. In that same note, because you can excel at one job doesn't mean that you can do all of the jobs really well, which is where I think Dan Quinn falls. I don't think he's a head coach.
He brought the Falcons to a Super Bowl
with Kyle Shanahan as his offensive coordinator.
He brought them to a Super Bowl, and they were up 28-3.
What was the strength of that Falcons team? The offense or the defense?
Julio Jones.
Okay, well, I'm just saying it.
The defense was.
Come on, dude.
A little bit more
Come on, it was Kyle Shanahan's offense. Like that's Kyle Shanahan. Like if Kyle Shanahan's not the offensive coordinator, do you think that Falcons team makes it to the Super Bowl?
I don't know.
We don't. None of us know,
I don't
right?
know.
But I'm just saying, like in your gut.
I don't know. In my gut, I don't know because we were too busy. Like the Patriots were too busy winning at the time. I didn't pay attention to any of the
hashtag scripted fake, but
oh yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I don't think
fake.
I don't think the Commanders are going to do well. I don't think Dan Quinn's a head coach. I think he's a defensive coordinator.
So do I. I think when you are such good at one thing and
he's great.
People look at it, oh, we're going to promote you as a head coach to look over everything. You could be great at running the sales division in a company, but once you have to run everything in the company,
it's a different skill set. It's not the same skill set. You're asking someone to do something totally different.
You're not focused 100% on that one avenue, which is sales. You're focused. Your focus is now 12% of this and 10% of that and 12% of that and 30. You know, it's everything. So, yeah, it's. Well, I mean, we'll see. I mean, the Commanders do have with the new owner and the money and stuff like that they have. We'll see.
I think it's weird.
I think they'll be good in a couple of years, but we'll see what good means.
All right, so we spent a long time on this topic.
Harbaugh, I think, was a great hire for the Chargers. I like having Harbaugh back in the NFL. I do know that and they opened the books for him, which was opened the checkbook and paid him a lot, which was the whole opposite narrative of the owner there because the owner was supposed to be cheap.
Yep.
And all this stuff.
Shitty owner. Yep.
So now Harbaugh's going to put butts in the seats in that big stadium. He coached on the West Coast with the Niners. He brought him to the Super Bowl. He knows how to develop college players. He knows how to develop or coach NFL players. He played in the NFL. So we'll see. And that team is ready to win. That team has always been projected playoff team every year because of Herbert and Allen and all them. Mm-hmm. So we'll see.
That leads me into my question to round out this topic. Which one of these coaches you think wins the most games next year?
I think Harbaugh.
Without a doubt?
Without a doubt. Because the team's ready. I mean, most of the time when you have a firing, it's the team's either rebuilding or they're not ready. Most of these teams have low picks. The Chargers have a mid-tier pick.
Chargers have an underrated defense, too. Their defense is some players.
They have the talent there. If Herbert's all he's cracked up to be, Harbaugh will bring it out of him.
Okay. Who has the worst season?
Harbaugh brought Kaepernick to a Super Bowl. Who has the worst season? I would think Canales with the Panthers.
Dave Canales.
I just think the Panthers they're so far from winning anything. It's going to be interesting how Mike McDonald is with the Seahawks because they loved Pete Carroll.
That was a very interesting decision to move on from Pete.
Really? Like, that was out of the blue.
Pistol Pete.
He was talking at the end of the season like, I can't wait for next year. This is going to be great. I don't know why they did that either.
Pete.
I don't know why they
pulled him.
Yeah. And it was weird how they did it, too. It was weird that they said, oh, he's no longer our coach, but he'll be part of the organization. Mm-hmm. But then he was also getting calls to get poached by other teams to come coach them. But he didn't take any of them. I don't even know if he's part of the. I think he might have left. He's like, it's a good narrative or a good like PR piece, but like,
is it though? I feel like it's not owning up to what you're trying to do.
I feel like it's almost ages, and they pushed him out because of his age. They're like, listen, you got like a year or two left, so we're just gonna cut ties
because of his
down.
age.
I think so.
Really?
He's older than Belichick. Carroll's older.
He's the oldest coach in the NFL. I know, but like, the boys love Pete Carroll. What are you talking about? The guy's
rah, baby.
Yeah,
give me them COVID shots. Right.
I don't understand why.
I would love Pete Carroll.
Age should never be a thing.
Back in the Patriots, if that could have happened, but it didn't. And
yeah,
I'm
surprised
surprised
they
something. Pushed him out because
homecoming with Pete
Carroll.
He
was always winning at least 8 games. He was always putting butts in the seats. He always had a competitive team, no matter who the quarterback was.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
That's very surprising to me. I'm with you there though. I think Dave Canales has the worst season out of all these guys. Carolina Panthers, they're in for another trash year. I think the Titans are probably going to be bad next year too. They're going to be real bad. And
I like Will Levis. I like.
Yeah, but what else do they have?
They still have Henry.
No, he's a free agent.
They could sign him back.
They could, but I mean, why would you? If you're rebuilding, why are you re-signing Derrick Henry? You shouldn't spend money on him. That'd be crazy.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. I honestly,
I don't know why you're asking me.
I don't. I mean, the AFC South is very I'll say the word mediocre, meaning like they're very. And winner of the AFC South usually wins like 9 or 10 games, so they lose a lot outside their division. They just eat up wins within their division. So there's some wins to steal in the South for Callahan and the Titans, but overall, I definitely think the Panthers aren't going anywhere at any time soon.
No, I'm on board with you there. I think it's a trash job. Oh man! Shout out to DiGiorgio. All right, let's see. Next up, we got
boys. We got the number 1 pick,
the Philadelphia Eagles. So we're gonna kind of rush through our teams a little bit here, just for the sake of time.
So, do you have a topic on the Eagles? Do you want to vent? Like, can I ask you? Like,
go ahead.
All right. So this is the one thing I want to ask you. Last year at this time, I was so excited for you because it was Super Bowl week.
Last year this time, yeah. And what a different feeling
I
that
sat
was.
across from you at work, and I trust me, I've been through 9 of them, 9 Super Bowl weeks, and that week, the anticipation from Monday to Tuesday to Wednesday. Me. And I had asked you like on Monday, like, you excited? And you're like, yeah, it hasn't sucked in yet. Tuesday, no. Wednesday, it's getting there. Thursday, Friday, yeah, it's the. By Thursday, I was like ready to go. I was like about to run through a brick wall when the Patriots, like I wanted to do it, and but you weren't like feeling it. I was like, why isn't he like? This is the best week because like you're getting through your work week and knowing that you get to watch your team in the Super Bowl.
Nervous,
and they could be the best team in the NFL.
Nervous.
You know, so how are you feeling now this week?
I don't give a shit.
Okay, but how are you feeling now after how bad the Eagles kind of failed in the season? Because I think they failed.
They did. They didn't. It was a massive failure. It was a collapse. It was a historic collapse.
And is that internal? Do you think something internal happened with Sirianni? Or
I think, I've said this a couple times in the podcast now, but I'll say it again. I think that Jalen Hurts was referring to the front office when he said, remember after the Seattle game when we lost to Seattle and Jalen Hurts in the press conference said we have a problem with commitment?
Yep.
He was talking about firing Sean Desai after 12 weeks in the season.
Oh, see,
that's what he was talking about.
People made it seem like, the player, like he was calling out the players in the locker rooms, like, they're not working hard enough.
I don't know who was coming up with that fake shit. Maybe it was the team or whatever.
It was probably Rossini.
Well, yeah, it could have been Diana Rossini. It could have been Howie and
ESPN,
Jeffrey Lurie. I don't know.
News, ESPN.
I think honestly, the Eagles' internal front office has their fingers in a lot of different areas, and they're pulling a lot of different strings all the time. They care about public perception, a lot more than other teams do. I think,
kind of,
yeah. And I like, for example, when they fired Sean Desai, they should have just fired him, not demoted him, where he's still in the building, and then they just fire him at the end of the season. It's fucking pointless. Just let him off the hook, rip the Band-Aid off. But I think that's what Jalen was referring to, and I think as soon as that happened, that's when the team quit. Like, you'll notice they were competitive up until that point. Like, they got their asses kicked by San Fran and Dallas in the previous 2 weeks, but they were competitive in the Seattle game. And they lost on the last play of the game because, or not the last play, on the last defensive play of the game because Matt Patricia decided to put James Burntberry one-on-one on the outside. So I mean, it was a competitive game up until that point, and then once that replacement happened, they got smoked every week basically. So I think they just quit. I think the players quit
because of that one thing.
I think there's things that we'll never know. The Eagles structure their front office and their entire organization so that way nobody really knows who's responsible for what. So that way the outside can't like point fingers and say this person was. We have no idea. We have no idea. We really don't know what happened. I don't think we'll ever know, really, unless, there's a 30 for 30 or whatever the fuck that ESPN series is where they interview the motherfuckers after they're retired about specific seasons and stuff. Like, we're not going to know.
Like the stuff that's coming out with the Patriots now.
Yeah, we're not this season. We're not going to know for
a couple of
years down the line what the fuck happened.
Yep. But it was such a failure. Such a hard word, but it was like
it was
disappointing. It was a failure, and it's because they should have been.
I knew from week one.
They should have won the East.
I knew from week one. They should have
been a 2 seed at least.
When we played you guys in week one, we knew right away week one when they played the Patriots that this was not the same team.
We were close. we were close with you guys, which is odd because I thought you guys were going to blow us out. We came back.
It was a feeling. You could feel the play calling. I think what happened was Nick Sirianni didn't want to change. You want one of those Canadians? No? Did you like it or no? You didn't like it?
Yeah, it was good.
I like Molson's. I think Nick Sirianni wanted to keep continuity for Jalen because he's never had back-to-back years with the same coordinator. The first time he did was Shane Steichen, and he went to the Super Bowl. So I think they wanted to keep some consistency. So that's why I think they elevated Brian Johnson, who was Jalen's quarterback coach, who they grew up together, like they'd known each other since they were toddlers, and they were trying to keep some familiarity there. That didn't work at all. And then I think they were just trying to go the young, innovative route, and that didn't work at all. Like the coaching was a huge issue. Sean Desai was a massive issue.
Yeah.
Regardless of whether or not, I don't think he should have been replaced mid-season, regardless of how bad he was doing. But it was a no-win situation from the get-go with those two coordinators.
But don't the players have to take fault in that?
Yeah, there's definitely
but they didn't. They seem very immature.
There was an aspect to it.
The locker room's immature.
I have questions about Jalen after this. There's questions
as a leader, as a
there's questions.
Mature quarterback. You have to deal with the wins and the losses.
I don't love seeing Jalen sitting on the bench, spacing out, looking off into space, just totally indifferent. I don't love that. Like when you're winning, it can be labeled as oh, he's stoic and he's just so level.
Demeanor. Yeah, yep.
But when you're losing, in a way, it's just like what we were talking about on our podcast. Just like I want you to care.
Yeah.
I want you to get mad right now, and you're not. You're just it's just where's the energy, So I would have loved to have seen that. There is responsibility. I think Jalen took a step back personally. But I think the biggest issue was just the coaching.
Is there beef with AJ Brown? Because he had a couple sideline blow-ups a little bit, right?
No, that's just we can have beefs at work. You know what I mean? We're still boys. It's the heat of the moment. It's the you're playing football.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't look into anything with that. AJ Brown's not a diva.
Okay.
Terrell Owens was a diva. AJ Brown is not Terrell Owens.
Fair enough. Fair. Do you have hope for next season?
I don't know
that they're gonna going from
it's
a
tough.
Super Bowl runner-up to a 6th seed or 5th seed,
6th seed,
playing a road game in Tampa in a wild card game.
Still made the playoffs. Some Super Bowl losers don't even make the playoffs.
That's not right. Yeah, but that's not
we were 10-1 at one point.
Exactly. So you would think they'd be you and the Niners were you had the 1 seed over the Niners at one point, and then you just flopped
up until we played them
post Thanksgiving, right, or around Thanksgiving.
Actually, we still had the 1 seed even after we lost to them the first time. Then we lost to Dallas, and then that's when that happened. I think. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know if I'm very skeptical about this season. To be honest with you, I'll probably get more excited as it gets closer. But right now, I'm not excited. I don't think that. I think.
Didn't you guys beat the Chiefs in Kansas City this year? And that's where
we beat the Chiefs,
right
we beat
after
the
that,
Bills, we beat the Cowboys, we beat the Dolphins. We beat a bunch of playoff teams this year, which was it's such a weird year. This is a weird year.
That's not a good sign for a team when you play up and beat your competition, but you can't beat
the Cardinals, the Seahawks, the Giants.
Yeah. It's something in the locker room. It's something in that
team.
Definitely.
Yeah, it was something like I said, I think the players gave up. Like that Buccaneers game, the playoff game with the tackling, that doesn't happen if you're trying.
No. You're right. Yeah. Yeah.
They just gave up. They knew they were going to lose. They didn't even I think they knew they were going to get smoked the next week no matter what happened, so I think they just didn't even show up.
But when you relish the fact that you got to go seeding whatever happens, they'd probably have to go to San Francisco to go to the 1 seed because they're the lowest seed to get out of it.
Well, they would have gone to Detroit like Tampa did had they won.
Would they?
Yeah.
As a 6 seed?
That the winner of that game played Detroit.
But the lower seed goes to the higher seed. So San Fran was 1. So I'm not.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know how that works.
So I'm just saying they may have had to go to San Fran depending.
Either
on
way, they lose. The Lions or the 49ers. Yeah. They got smoked by the Bucs. That wasn't even a close game.
See, I think if they beat the Bucs, they have momentum. They have more belief again, and then they could go into anybody could go in Detroit and win.
I don't think that I think the air was just deflated out of that locker room at the end of the season, and there was no way of inflating it again. It couldn't have been done.
No, you are right, because Green Bay was 7, so the 7 seed, they beat the Cowboys.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
And they went to San Fran. So regardless, that winner would have gone to Detroit. But I think Eagles going to beat Detroit in Detroit.
I don't know. We couldn't beat the Cardinals. We couldn't beat the Giants. We couldn't beat the Seahawks. But if you win that
one playoff game, you get momentum. You start believing again. You're like, hey, we can do it. We can make a run again. You see it all. Like, you see it a lot.
I don't think they had the talent on defense.
They didn't have the belief. I think
we had a lot of injuries on our so Brad. There was just so much that went wrong this year. Like, Bradbury fell off a cliff.
It's tough to build a dynasty, man.
Yeah, dynasties aren't going to happen anymore.
It's tough to win year after year. It's tough to be what.
I'll tell you what. The reason you guys had that dynasty was because Brady was able to play for so long. That's what makes it the dynasty, right? Like, would it have been considered a dynasty if Brady retired after 10 years and then you guys won other Super Bowls with other quarterbacks? They're whole different teams.
If
Nothing's the
Belichick
same.
was there, probably.
The only thing that remained the same was Belichick and Brady.
If there's a common denominator, if Belichick was there, yeah.
So that makes it a dynasty if it's one coach that wins it all at the same. Yeah, that makes sense. But like,
or one quarterback, because they, like in football, the coach, the head coach, and the quarterback kind of control most of the like the coach has all the say, but
you have to pick those first, and then the rest dictates from there, right?
Yeah.
Like, so you're not gonna figure out your entire roster and then pick a quarterback.
Like, I don't want to compare like the dynasty that we had, because that's like an anomaly, but
you can't. It's an outlier. It's a total outlier.
It's not like you were the Bills that went to the 4 Super Bowls in a row in the 90s. It's not like you were the Cowboys that won 2 out of 3. It's not like you're the Niners who won. It's
anyone who said that this was going to be a dynasty was totally.
It's tough.
Did you hear that from me? I don't remember. No.
I used to joke with you. You could be like, "Oh, we're going to be good. Don't worry. We got a good 10 years out of Jalen. Don't worry. We'll be back."
I believe that. I believe Jalen will win a Super Bowl. I still stand by that. I think he will. I think Jalen can win a Super Bowl. But the issue,
he's got to stop. He's got to learn the business about the NFL too. Like, he can't mope around knowing that something happened personnel wise, coaching wise, and now he's gonna cause the team to go down a level because of that. He's got to. It's an
interesting dynamic.
You got to be professional, man. You have to be professional.
I don't think he was unprofessional. Do your job. I don't think he was unprofessional. I don't think he was ever showing negative body language.
But they quit.
But I don't think that means Jalen was being unprofessional. I think that it means that Jalen wasn't doing a good enough job. And there's a difference. Lead? Yeah. I don't think it means he was unprofessional. I just think he could be doing a lot better.
He wasn't doing a good enough job because of what happened.
Oh, I don't know. Who knows, right?
From 10-1.
Something clearly happened, right? There was clearly a switch that was like flipped, right?
So I think it's maturity, and he's got to grow from this.
Could be.
This could be the best thing that ever happened to you.
Could be.
This could be the best thing that ever happened to you.
Yeah, so. It could be. I mean, like we have a Hall of Fame coach, not Hall of Fame. we have a good coaching staff right now. Kellen Moore, Vic Fangio, Bobby Knight Bobby King. I forget his name.
Bobby Knight's the
basketball coach. Yeah. All right, so Bobby King, I think, is our new outside linebackers coach. Clint Hurt, defensive line coach. Our safeties coach, we got that fuck from Miami. He was with us our Super Bowl year. We have a lot of really, really, really good coaches. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with Nick Sirianni being the CEO coach now. Without I don't know. Man.
It's next season. I'm excited for you guys next season.
So many questions.
It's honestly, this is a big year for you. It's a bounce back year. It's like, hey, remember in 2001, the Patriots didn't win, or they won, and then they didn't make the playoffs the next year. Didn't even make the playoffs. They went 9-7.
Yep.
And then they won 2 more. They bounced back. They had a bad year.
Could be.
But they bounced back with the quarterback and the coach.
Shit. If we won these next 2 Super Bowls.
So I love it when the Eagles are good too, and competitive. I love it because it's
exciting.
It's a Northeast team. It's the fans are passionate. Like it's good. It's fun. So hopefully they learn and they bounce back. I think Jalen Hurts goes for MVP next year. That's a dark horse for my MVP.
I mean, he's been in it 2 years in a row.
It's a dark because I don't think he's going to stop now. He learned his lesson.
I'm hoping.
It's
man.
learning. It's developing.
All right, on to the Patriots. New England Patriots. So we talked about the new coaching hire. We don't really need to talk much about that. We really don't even need to spend much time here. But do we have all right? So
no.
All right, I have a couple of quick questions for you. Number 3 overall pick in the draft.
Yeah.
You're not getting Marvin Harrison Jr.
We're not.
No.
Why not?
Because he's getting taken the pick before you.
Okay, that means we have 2 quarterbacks to pick from.
Is that what you want?
I think if there's, yeah. I would pick Jaden Daniels. I like him. He's a new age quarterback. The guy from LSU that won the Heisman.
Is that the number 2 quarterback?
He's number 3.
Caleb Williams and
it's Williams. It's Drake. It's Caleb Williams from USC. It's Drake May from UNC, North Carolina, and it's Jaden Daniels from LSU who won the Heisman.
Where's Pennick? Where's Michael Pennick?
Way down.
Really?
Yeah.
Why do I keep hearing his name?
You heard his name earlier.
Too many injury worries? Injury?
He's older. He's like 24, 25. And in college, he had 3 season-ending injuries, which made him be able to play longer. Oh. And then he played great against defenses that really don't play good defense. He put up stats. And then he played Michigan, a kind of NFL, like a Big Ten team in the college is more defense structured, more NFL-like. And he couldn't get out of his own way. So, and he was confused by the changes and all that stuff. He doesn't know how to read that much.
He doesn't know how to read?
Like defenses.
Oh.
I mean. Changes. Read defenses. We're talking football, so I thought that would
I got
correlate.
you.
But like he's dropping, like he dropped big time on a and it all depends. It definitely also depends on like their combines and their workouts and all that stuff with teams. But the top 3 right now, what they're saying is Caleb won, right? Which means the Bears will trade Fields. We'll see where he goes. Because I could dabble in a 3rd round pick this year, which is a high pick.
A 3rd?
For Fields.
You think you'd only have to give up a 3rd for Fields?
Yeah.
Really? Obviously, you wouldn't be giving up your 1st because it's on the top 3.
Unless we get,
so
like, future picks back.
Yeah, so like, but I think it would take more than a 3rd to get Justin Fields.
A 3rd and maybe a couple picks in the future. But I'm just throwing it out there. But if the Bears would have to have a deal in place for Fields before they pick Williams.
Mm-hmm.
And then 2 would be Harrison, right? You're saying?
I think Marvin Harrison Jr. goes 2nd, yeah.
I
think he's the first skill position player off the board, non-quarterback off the board.
Who's the 2nd pick? Commanders? Yeah.
No, Cardinals.
Would they stay with Murray?
Yeah, I think so. Okay. I think they keep Murray and they get a wide receiver for him.
Okay. So that means...
I think Murray is better than... I think people fall in love with new... You know what I mean? Like the grass is greener and they want to... I think Kyler Murray is going to be better than any of these quarterbacks right now.
He can be. Man,
I don't like Caleb Williams.
He was number 1 overall, right? Yeah.
Yeah, he was. Yep. I think Caleb Williams is a punk bitch. I don't like him.
I don't like him either.
I don't like him at all.
I think Chicago's making a big mistake picking him. Mm-hmm. I think Chicago can get I think Chicago has their quarterback. I've always loved Fields, and they could trade down.
They've never gotten a good QB guy for him. You know what I mean?
A coach.
Yeah.
QB coach.
Like, he's
they
been
don't have talent
hands
around him. Like they finally got DJ Moore, right?
Yeah.
Who he just like launched to. Go get him a line, you know?
Yeah,
go
that's
help
true.
him. Trade down and go get that tackle from Notre Dame, who's like a big deal. So if what's the scenario that happens, if that's the case, if it goes Caleb Williams to Chicago, if it goes Marvin Harrison Jr. to Arizona, then the Patriots have their pick of Drake May or Jalen Williams. And I think they'd pick Jaden Daniels. I think they'd pick Drake May over Williams or Daniels.
Yeah, you need a QB.
Because Drake May's a little bit of both. He's a pocket quarterback that can scramble.
You need that now.
He's more NFL like. I mean, like he's more
body built. Move a little
he's
bit.
Built more. You know, he's got more muscle. Jaden Daniels is kind of like a Lamar Jackson-esque.
I don't like
more
that.
Of a project.
I don't like that.
But the upside is insane. But Drake May's upside is insane. So I would definitely
Lamar was
picked
at the last pick in the first round. You know.
I know.
So I don't. You know. I like your decision going Drake
And
Mays.
Lamar won the Heisman too. So, but Jaden Daniels put up like stats in LSU, like stats with very little help, I guess you could say. With like the offense in LSU, like they might get like a receiver drafted this year. That's it. Maybe two and
that's drafted. That's not
later,
first round. That's just drafted. Period.
Yeah.
That's bad.
But I'm hoping the only thing I hope for, and this going back to what you said, Elliot, like you said, who's the GM right now? Elliot Wolf who is like a Belichick kind of guy, and I've heard stories if Wolf is in charge of the draft picks, he might take that third pick and trade down to 5 or 6 and get that left tackle from Notre Dame because that's just the way he thinks.
Wow.
We would go batshit crazy here. We would go batshit crazy. No, I would hate it.
You want a QB, right?
I want a QB. And there's like little whispers, and this isn't like a big deal, but I bet they're going to get louder as we get closer to their draft and like free agency and all that stuff. I don't know when they have to make that decision on Mac Jones to pick up his 5th-year option because he just finished his 3rd year. So right now they still have him for next year, but right now they have to decide if they want to pick up his 5th-year option as a first-round rookie quarter.
That won't happen until the end of the year. It never does.
No, they have to do it now. After the 3rd year, they have to decide on the 5th year now.
Really?
Yeah. Yep. So
I don't remember that happening.
All first-round picks have like an option for the 5th year, and that has to be decided at the 3rd year.
Oh, I didn't know it had to be decided in the 3rd year.
So now they can trade them for something, for garbage, like, like a 6th-round pick or whatever. Because you're not getting anything from that.
No.
They could try to redevelop them because a lot of people are saying it was unfair what the Belichick did to him with Patricia last year.
That's true.
And this year it sounded like there was a lot of beef between the two.
It's true.
But I don't think Mac's. I like Mac. He's a game. I think Mac can make a great career and I'll make a lot of money as a great backup. A Gardner Minshew, a Chase Daniels type of guy, right? A spot filler. He could turn into a Geno Smith one year. Like he could.
A who?
A Geno Smith, where
okay.
he finds the right home.
yeah.
And all of a sudden he starts slinging, but it's not going to be in Foxborough.
He had a good first year.
Geno? Mac. Yeah. He had a great rookie year. He was controlled, and he was under McDaniels.
That's got to be part of it.
I think it's a big part.
Got to be part of it.
And he had like limited, like the playbook wasn't 85 pages; it was like 40 pages, and they're all shorts, and they rely on the running game a lot, like short dumps and all that stuff, West Coastish. But Mac can't be around. Like if you're gonna draft a quarterback, you got to get rid of Mac
100%.
because
he can't be your backup.
He can be a backup.
Yeah, but not your backup.
He could go back up Tua or go back up Lawrence or something.
Yeah, but you guys drafted him in the first round. You guys could just get rid of him if you're going to get another.
You got to cut your losses at some point, And maybe there was something there. Maybe there was something there. But I trust Belichick to say it was a system in the first year, and then we tried to give him more, and he just didn't do it in the second year. Like we tried to open up the books more, just didn't do it. And maybe it was the talent around him and all that stuff, and I get it and I understand, but not here. He can't win here. He can't do it here. I'd love to see that. Like, you
it's
never
just
see
a shame,
that,
man. Because like the whole Matt Patricia, like obviously living in New England, the Patriot games are on all the time. I have a roommate who's a Patriots fan, so I would watch them sometimes, and it's just like they never gave the guy a fair chance. All these bubble screens, like you gotta be fucking kidding me. Like I first of all hate that play as an Eagles fan because we run that shit too, and it's unsuccessful. All right, so this is a crazy stat. You know the Eagles have a net negative overall yardage differential when running the bubble screen, and we still ran it like fucking 90 times.
Like when you look at the data and say,
I don't understand. Like
this is a loss.
So I don't think it's fair like that Mac had to do. Like I watched a whole year of Mac Jones throwing behind the line of scrimmage, but he must have been so fucking frustrated and tired of that,
But this year, this year was the icing on the cake. They got Billy O'Brien, who he didn't coach Mac at Alabama, but I know Mac and him, when Mac was leaving Alabama, Billy O was coming in, so they kind of met and talked about it, like their offenses and all that stuff. So there's a relationship there. Billy O'Brien is a great offensive coach. and he's a great coach in general because he brought Penn State back up. He's going to Boston College now, I think. But I think that like Mac itself doesn't. This year was the year, and he didn't perform up to the point where we wanted to. The Eagles game, great. That was awesome. The first couple of games, he showed, and then the Cowboys game happened. He sucked. He sucked. He was fumbling the ball. He was throwing pick sixes. And again, it's Dallas. Okay, it's a road game, whatever. And then as the year progressed, the Germany game against the Colts, the picks he threw were just dumb. He had a chance to like go ahead. He threw a pick that was like a 4-year-old would have thrown. Like seriously, like from like the 12-yard line on the back.
That's fair.
On the back of his feet when he shouldn't have been running anyway, or he had time to set his feet, and he tried to loft it to Gesicki, I think, or Henry in the back of the end zone to go ahead, and he just threw it right to a linebacker at the goal line. So that type of stuff, I think Mac's just broken. The environment here is not good. It's going to take a lot for the fans to buy into that again.
Yeah, that's true.
And Kraft,
very true.
The owner Kraft is big on, I want that stadium filled. We went to the Jets game, right? Who was there? I know it was a blizzard, but half the stadium was empty.
Yeah.
Kraft doesn't want that. Kraft hates that. Kraft doesn't want to lose the Patriots as a relevant franchise in the NFL.
Because they've been totally irrelevant the last 2 years.
But they're
totally.
They are still the last couple of years because of Belichick and because of the Mac promise was that they're still on national games. You know, they got flexed out of a Monday night game this year. They've never been flexed out before. Even when a opponent was bad with the Belichick years and Brady years, they never flexed the Patriots out. They were like, play them, put them on Sunday night because it's Brady and Belichick. It's 40-0, whatever. We got our first $50 from all the ads we wanted to do. But, sorry. But sore throat. But yeah, Matt can't do it here. And I really want them to just restart, draft a quarterback, and start from here.
That's what I would want to.
And they have a lot. They have boo-goo bucks. They have a lot of money to spend, or else they get penalized. They have a load of money. So they should lock up some of the picks that Belichick drafted, like Merriweather, their safety. Or Duggar, their safety.
I was going to say Brandon Merriweather.
Yeah, Kyle Duggar.
Way back.
Christian he's still on a rookie deal, but Christian Barmore, like, put money aside for him. There's some players on that team. Christian Gonzalez is a rookie. Great corner.
Great corner? What week did he get hurt?
7 or 8. But he was locked down. He was locked down.
Let's see it for another year, though.
Sure, sure. But like even NFL GMs around the league were saying, "Yo, they got a winner."
He was playing well. You know,
he's like 6'2" in a corner and can run with anybody.
I remember.
Arms.
I watched some highlights of him. I was thinking the Eagles might take him. You know, so yeah.
But they got
to stay healthy.
They did get in like a lot of injuries on the defensive side too, which killed them. But good for I'd rather have the 3rd pick than the 15th pick right now.
Totally.
To rebuild, because you're not doing it with Mac. And Zappy's a borderline backup quarterback. I think Mac's a fundamental backup quarterback where he can be a backup quarterback in the NFL and be good.
Zappy was more like
Zappy's Zappy can be the Patriots backup if he wants to be.
Yeah, I mean, you guys didn't invest anything in him. He didn't fail you guys, you know. So you could keep him as a backup, unlike Mac,
as a safe keep. So I mean, hopefully quarterback, and if they trade down, Foxborough is going to blow up, and I don't think Kraft would allow that. I think Kraft says we need to see a marketable player come through here.
If you have a top 3 pick, you can't trade it unless someone's going to give you a king's ransom. You can't trade it for just some menial, a couple day 2 picks. You know, you got to get a difference maker.
And honestly, that's what, I love Belichick, but that's what
he would have done.
He would have traded down to get that tackle from Notre Dame, but also get picks in the future or in the 2nd round, whatever it is. And you'll
always be like a middling team doing that.
Yep.
You know, you'll never be able to cross the threshold by playing it that way. You know.
No.
Unless you have Brady as your QB. You know, it was a smart strategy, honestly.
When had the greatest of all time, right?
Yeah.
But that stuff doesn't last.
Nope. Yeah. It's not a sustainable.
So I'm excited about this offseason. Go Patriots. Foxborough forever. We'll see. Get a quarterback, please. And if you're not right, if Harrison's there, I would honestly pick Harrison
over a QB
and then deal with it. You can get a decent QB in the second round.
Would you take Pennick in the second?
You could. You could go get the Spencer Rattler guy too. You could go get a couple quarterbacks here and there.
Would you do that?
What's his name? Bo Nix.
Is that what you would want?
You could, but if you were going to do that route, you go sign a veteran quarterback too. Not a Kirk Cousins, but a veteran quarterback.
You can't afford a Kirk Cousins unless he's your starter. Kirk Cousins is going to get he's getting a big contract.
Oh, the Patriots can afford him.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying, you're not gonna pay Kirk Cousins to be your backup.
But I'm not saying go get a quarterback like a bridge quarterback.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even
because those second round, third rounders aren't ready to start. You go get a bridge quarterback and be shit again, and then build on your line or defense later on.
I don't think Kirk's a bridge quarterback. No, someone's going to pay a lot of money for Kirk.
No, I'm not
someone
saying,
who's
I'm not saying Kirk.
Oh, okay.
No. I said Kirk's not a bridge, but you can go get a seasoned guy, like a Gardner Minshew could start for you.
Yeah.
And we could win 6 games, and we'd still have a top 10 pick and still be able to build whatever position we need.
That's fair.
If we got a great left tackle.
What would you prefer? Would you prefer the quarterback of your dreams at number 2?
Quarterback. 3.
What if Marvin Harris or 3? What if Marvin Harrison Jr. is there? What if the QB you want is there and Marvin Harrison Jr. is there? What do you want to have? What's your best case scenario?
I wouldn't hate them if they picked Marvin Harrison Jr., but you still need someone to throw in the ball. As long as they have a plan to have someone throwing the ball.
What if they go QB in the second round?
Yeah, but that QB won't be ready until next year. 2 years, whatever it is. Yeah. I don't think they're going to start that second rounder.
No?
No.
Okay. What if it's Pennick? He's older?
No, they won't start him.
No?
No. They'll see what he has. He's a left-hander too, so that's weird.
That would be fun. I remember watching Vic, and you wouldn't think it's it's a lefty. Who gives a shit? Just throwing it with a different hand. It looks way different.
It does, yeah.
It looks way different on TV.
Receivers say the ball come out different,
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, did you ever play baseball?
Yeah.
You remember facing a lefty pitcher versus a righty pitcher?
Of course, yeah.
World of a difference.
Yeah.
Totally different. So, it makes sense why a wide receiver would say that, right?
Yep. So
I hate. You know what? I'll tell you the truth. When I'm a right-handed batter, I used to prefer to face right-handed pitchers.
Really?
Yeah, because I was always scared of the ball, so I always felt like left-handed pitchers, the ball travels into you more.
Would curve it in more.
Yeah. It would keep coming at you. Whereas because it's coming from the outside and it's kind of coming towards you. Whereas the right-hander throwing, you can see right away if it's going to come right at you.
Okay.
Whereas if it's a lefty, it takes a little bit longer for you to see if that ball is going to hit you in the face or not, right?
I got you. All right. Hey, to each their own.
Dude, I got fucking nailed. So I'm a right-handed batter, so I'm swinging like this. A lefty was pitching, and he was one of those sidearm fuckers at 12. Who throws sidearm at 12?
You're going to throw your arm out. They
exactly.
Tell you not to do it.
So he's left-handed sidearm pitcher, and he comes in, he hits me right on the fucking inside of my elbow. It hurts so bad. So yeah, I have something against lefties, I guess. I don't know, but that fucking sucked. All right, prop bets for the Super Bowl. What do we got here, baby? I saw a couple interesting ones. Oh, where did it go? Why is that doing that?
So if you're not dumb, you would take McCaffrey anytime tutty and a Kelsey. I think Kelsey's going to score a tutty.
I was thinking Kelsey could score a. Kelsey could be MVP. I was thinking. What do you think about that for a prop bet? Travis Kelsey is MVP.
That's tough. He's going to have to have a 12 or he's going to have to break the reception record.
Well,
which is 11 or 12.
You think it's got to be receptions? What if he catches 3 TDs? 5 receptions, 3 touchdowns.
Gronk, the Bucs Super Bowl, Gronk scored 2, and Brady didn't have that good of a game. He was still MVP.
That's just 2, though. That's just 2.
It's a quarterback-driven. That means Mahomes has 3 tutties at least.
But that's the thing, though, is Mahomes doesn't have anyone to throw to. You know? So, all right, from a betting perspective, we're not talking about the most likely thing to happen, right? We're talking about from a betting perspective. You're not going to, there's no payout if you're not parlaying it, putting MVP for McCaffrey or Purdy or Mahomes. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to get anything for that. You put.
Yeah, but if you parlay them all together.
It's true if you parlay them, but I'm talking single prop bet.
Okay.
Single prop bet for this specific question.
I might
for
sprinkle,
MVP.
Like I might sprinkle a little on Kelsey.
Yeah, or if you
like
have
depending on the odds.
If you're not parlaying it and you got to pick one person to bet on for MVP, I don't think there's anyone better to take than Kelsey, because you're gonna get some odds, right? But at the same time, you can totally imagine a scenario where he could win it, right? Especially with the whole Taylor Swift thing. Like that's
what kills me.
That has to play a part. Even if it's only 1%, it's got to play a part, right?
Yeah, that's what kills me. I don't want to. I'm tired of all that stuff. It's football's football. It's not who's in the stands, you know.
Oh, but I'll tell you what though. As somebody who's sick and tired of, all right, so there's a couple of things to this.
They didn't show Giselle as much as they showed Taylor Swift.
I don't think Taylor Swift has been shown for more than like 46 seconds during the entire duration of a game. So I think what the real issue with the Taylor Swift shit is the media coverage after the game. During the game itself, she's only been shown for a maximum of 46 seconds. You know, in a 3-hour or whatever broadcast. So I don't have a huge problem with the actual broadcasting of it. My issue, I guess, is with the coverage after the fact. But at the same time, I think it's good for football. I think this is a good thing, you know?
What, to get the rich richer? Because now all they're doing is bringing in new audience, like
more fans.
The Taylor Swift fans that don't watch football.
That's fine. More fans to watch football.
And that's cool. Like, but they're gonna stop watching it eventually.
Maybe. But it's like a funnel, right?
Do you
maybe 10% of those people who weren't fans remain fans.
Do you think if they're still dating in the next season?
I don't think they will be, first of all.
Taylor Swift will not be at every game.
I don't think they'll be.
She has her own
career.
Season.
I think they're going to break up.
Do you think she's going to be at the Super Bowl?
Yeah, of course. What are you talking about? Yeah, she's going to be at the Super Bowl. You kidding? There's no way the NFL would allow her.
She has a concert in Tokyo. Then
she's canceling it.
No, she's not.
I'm telling you,
that's millions of dollars.
She's at the Super Bowl.
She can't cancel it.
She's at the Super Bowl. Why do you think the Chiefs made it to the Super Bowl?
She's taking like
those
an
refs are
flight
throwing flags against the other team.
She's lucky it's not Miami, or that would have been hell.
Why?
Because Tokyo to Vegas is a lot shorter from Tokyo to Miami.
Fair enough.
You know?
Yeah, I'm telling you, she'll be at the Super Bowl, dude. The NFL is licking their chops.
She will. You know, she's trying to sue like a company that's trying to track her jet.
Oh, I heard about that.
Yeah.
That's an individual person, I thought.
It's a company or whatever it is, but like she's trying to sue. Like,
I'm pretty sure it's a 19-year-old kid.
Jesus.
Yeah, I'm pretty. I heard about that story. I heard it was like a young kid. I don't want to take the time to look it up now.
I mean, I'm not hating on Tay Tay. I respect the hell out of her. Good for her. But football is football, and
I agree. I don't want to talk more about Taylor Swift and
to watch the game. I heard there's like some type of prop bet where like is Kelsey going to propose to?
I would never make a prop bet. That'd be a ridiculous prop bet to make. Wouldn't that be crazy?
Stupid. I don't think they would either.
I mean, maybe if I was a millionaire, I'd put like $100 on it. You know.
I do think each quarterback's going to throw a pick, which is odd. I do think
I could see that.
I think the over is. Oh shoot! Sorry. 47. 47.5. I think that hits over. Over under.
I'm going under. You know my prediction.
I know. I think the 49ers are going to pull it out.
49ers, really?
I think San Fran's going to pull it out. I really do. It's their time. They've been the best team. Of the records when like Philly had the 1 seed.
Yeah, just overall team. They've been the best.
Been the best. Top to bottom. Plus, I don't even know if that trade they made with Washington with Chase Young coming in. I don't even know if he's playing, but like,
yeah, they said he could sit. Right? Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, he's not sitting. Why would he sit?
Well, why would they sit Malcolm Butler in the Super Bowl?
Well, because he did something.
He fucked Steve Belichick's wife, right?
I don't know.
That's what I heard.
I have no idea.
I heard Malcolm Butler and Steve Belichick's wife had something going on.
Who'd you hear that from?
It was on a radio. It was on some fucking radio. You could Google it too. It was a thing. I'm telling you, man, 100%. What do you think about this prop bet? Sam Darnold to win Super Bowl MVP plus 20,000.
Actually, because I just said it's a quarterback award, it typically is.
Yeah,
I think there's like 4 players that won it non-quarterback in the past. However many Super Bowls it's been.
Fair. Plus 20,000.
I'd sprinkle a little bit on it. But here's the thing. I think if he's throwing the ball, he might dump 1 or 2 off to McCaffrey that's going to end up in tutties. So McCaffrey might get it. I always think they always like to give the Super Bowl MVP to like the marketable person.
That's true.
Unless the other guy has an astronomical game.
Yeah, that's true. So
I always start with the quarterbacks, Mahomes and Purdy.
But
McCaffrey's a dark horse.
That kind of goes off of my pick for Travis Kelce for MVP.
It does. Yeah.
Is there any more marketable person right now than Travis Kelce? Right now, today,
Mahomes.
I don't think so. I think Travis Kelce is more marketable.
How do you say that when Mahomes' dad is going to jail?
That's why. That's probably part of
his third DUI.
If you're the NFL, do you want to not take the spotlight off of that and maybe shine it on, Kelce?
You want to give it to Mahomes, the interracial angel.
The interracial angel.
You want to give it to Mahomes, or if Sam Farron wins, it could be Purdy. It could be it's either going to be Purdy or.
I think it's one of 4 people. It's only going to be one of 4 people.
Name them.
Purdy.
Yep.
Christian McCaffrey.
Yep.
Patrick Mahomes.
Or Kelce.
Or Travis Kelce. There
you go.
Those are the only 4 could be. It's not going to be anyone else. We know that for a fact.
Nobody.
Yeah.
So, and Purdy at what, plus 2,000, 20,000?
No, that wasn't Brock Purdy. That was Sam Darnold. That was my question. Was Sam Darnold plus 20,000? Dude, you think Brock Purdy would be 20? I would take that all day. Brock Purdy plus 20,000.
I was about to sprinkle a couple units on that right now.
Yeah, no. Sam Darnold plus 20,000. That's why it's plus 20,000.
Can you tell me what are the top 4s that we just named on their odds? I bet Mahomes is the lowest rate right now. Mahomes and McCaffrey are the favorites. I think it's McCaffrey's award to lose.
Let's see. We got top 4 are the ones that I said. We'll go with DraftKings Sportsbook.
Sure.
Patrick Mahomes plus 125 at number 1. Brock Purdy plus 235 at number 2. Christian McCaffrey plus 450 at number 3. And Travis Kelce plus 1,200. That's why I say that. I think Travis Kelce, if you were to be like, oh, who should I put $10 on? You're not going to win shit for Mahomes. You're not going to win shit for Purdy.
You win 120 on Kelce straight up on that 10.
That's worth it to me if I'm placing a prop bet. If I don't want to
and that means you pepper other Kelce bets.
Yeah,
that means you go over on the receptions, over on tutties, over on yards, and you make a Kelce bet.
Very smart.
You just pillar that and column that and be like, this is one bet. I'm going to go Super Bowl MVP with him and then bet all his stats overs. Because in order for him to win that, he's got to do all the other 3.
They got Nick Bosa listed here at plus 7,500.
See,
that's not a terrible
2
bet.
defensive players that won Super Bowl MVP. It's Ray Lewis and Larry Brown from the Cowboys way back in the day.
What if Nick Bosa gets 4 sacks?
That's great.
You know what the thing is with the defensive MVP?
They always get overlooked by the offensive stuff.
Well, it's stats plus timing, right? Nick Bosa could get 4 sacks, but if he doesn't do it, and obviously if the 49ers win, but if he doesn't make some sort of big splash play, it won't matter, right?
Right, yeah.
So it's going to be a big play and a big moment.
The Rams Super Bowl against the Bengals I think Stafford won the MVP, quarterback. But Aaron Donald had a friggin' game. A game against Burrow. But because the stats were the stats and the offense is the offense, it's always an offensive award. And
Yeah,
it's usually a quarterback award. So whoever wins, and the only thing I would say is I don't see Purdy winning MVP because someone else around him, what's Debo at?
Debo is at plus 2,000.
So Debo could easily have combined 200 total yards, rushing and receiving.
Easily?
I'm just saying. He could easily. If things happen like that.
Best case scenario.
140 and then 60 rushing and then 3 tutties. That's MVP. But Purdy might have 2 tutties.
See, my only issue with that, or the reason I wouldn't touch that, is just because of the number of ways that San Francisco can kill you. They got Kittle, they got Ayuk, they got Christian McCaffrey. They don't really.
I really do think
the offense runs through Debo.
I think smart money for a San Fran MVP is McCaffrey. You get better value.
Yeah, plus 450,
and he's the focal point of that offense.
I agree.
He'll catch, he'll run, he'll get a rushing touchdown, but also have a couple passing touchdowns.
He was the MVP of their season. Christian McCaffrey was. It wasn't Purdy. It's like what Cam said. Purdy's the 10th best player on their team.
Yep.
Yep. I found funny about all of those. Everyone who reposted that and whatnot. You're on football groups and shit on Facebook and stuff, so you see the repeated posts and whatnot. Every time you clicked on those comments and you see all the San Francisco fans commenting on it, they're just shitting on Cam. No one's dispelling what he actually said.
Yeah.
So that's how you know it's true.
Didn't Purdy say, "Hey, I'm the 10th best player"? But
I don't know if that was real.
Oh, it wasn't. Right,
I don't know if it was, because you know how nowadays people make up quotes and shit, and they'll literally write it out in a post. They'll put quotes around it and they'll put a picture of the guy.
A picture of him, be like, Brock Purdy.
I've thought that real.
That was kind of stupid of Cam too, because he's not even in the game.
Yeah, the guy with the hat.
Yeah,
that's Cam Newton now. This is the guy with the hat.
At least say he's a game manager, but he does it well. If you want to call him a game manager, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck what I am, but if I do it well, fine. Call him a game manager.
Well, because that's what he is. He's clearly
who was a game manager in his first 4 years?
Brady.
Well, 2 years, 3 years, until they opened him up.
But Brady always had a rocking arm. That guy, he was so tall and so lanky that him throwing the ball was literally like a trebuchet. I feel like Brady throwing the ball was mathematically perfect in some way.
His arm was never that strong until he started developing it too, by the way. Until he's changed his rotation and got a throwing coach.
I mean, I was so young when those early seasons were. I don't remember.
But when he blew up, that's when
I remember seeing Brady throwing zipping
darts,
it in there.
The Moss years.
Yeah. I remember watching Brady throwing it over the middle of the field and be like, wow, he's got an arm. He's firing that in there,
But, I mean, I think the smart money is McCaffrey MVP.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it on Kelsey though. I'm telling you right now, I'm putting $10 on Kelsey
because
for MVP.
If let's say Pacheco gets 3 rushing touchdowns,
I don't even think he's on here.
They're probably
he is plus 2,500.
They're probably all from the 2 or 1. They're probably within.
Correct.
Yeah, he has 3.
He's not running for 40-yard touchdowns.
Bingo, and he's probably gonna have 20 rushes for 86 yards and 3 tutties. That's cool, but that means Mahomes got all the legwork out.
Yeah, so in that situation, he would probably win, or Mahomes would. I mean,
and they're probably going to use play action at one point to get Mahomes a tutty.
All right, before we move on to the picks, let's quickly run through. We are already over an hour in, right? Yeah, we're an hour and 23 minutes in. Oh yeah, right.
I told you I was going to keep this short for you.
It's all good, broski. Let's run through these other prop bets really quick, just because I think they're fun. Marquez Valdez-Scantling over 19.5 yards receiving, minus 120.
Ooh, one catch does that too.
I was gonna say you're basically banking on him to make a catch
because he did that in Baltimore, right?
He's got an average of 18.38 yards per reception.
So he's got to get one,
essentially.
But that San Fran D is good.
Minus 120. Is that a bet worth making? I don't think it is at minus 120.
Minus 120 over?
Yeah.
19.5 yards?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not worth it. I don't think so.
I don't think so.
It's not enough.
Give me minus
bang.
200.
Right. No,
You know?
give me like minus like 110, 105. Because the more money I put on it.
Oh, that's right. That's right. No, you're right.
Yeah.
Give me plus 200.
Something
That's what
like
I'm
that.
saying.
Yeah.
Give me something plus.
Yeah. Or raise the yardage to give me pluses.
Either kicker hits the uprights.
Oh, that's tough. No.
Plus 400.
No, it's indoor stadium now.
Yeah, I don't like that either. It's a weird one. Let's see. That's a weird one. Oh my God. There's a prop bet on here. Travis Kelce, 0 receptions and San Francisco to win. Plus 3,000.
No. He's gonna catch a ball. unless he like sprains his ankle on the first game.
Wouldn't that be crazy?
That would mean he's not in the game after like the first play. Because he's gonna catch a ball. You kidding me?
Let's end this where we started it. Wildest Dreams, this one's called. Travis Kelce to score the first and last TD, plus 2,500. I don't hate that, to be honest with you. I don't hate it.
That's kind of a spicy bet.
It is. I don't hate that.
I wouldn't take it because I hate doing like first and like.
Yeah, those are weird.
I hate doing firsts because you win, you lose right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, true, very true. Then the rest of the game just goes on.
I like sprinkling a little bit of. I like sprinkling a little bit just to play with it and be like, oh, if I'm alive, great. But last touchdown's so odd. Like I think I took a bet in one of the championship games, conference champ, where like the last play will be a QB rush, meaning like a kneel, and it wasn't, so I won, but won a little bit. But like isn't that weird? Like
that is a weird one.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
So it all depends on who gets the ball last, kind of.
Very true.
But the last touchdown, that's so hard because like if he scores with like 4 minutes left. You're like, all right, I think I won this, and then the San Fran goes out and scores a tutty.
Could be.
You're like, all right, now I'm not.
Now I'm done.
The roller coaster of emotions is. I couldn't do it.
That's what's kind of fun about it, right?
That's the fun. That's the fun of it. But like, I want to control at least a bit of it.
That's fair. That's fair. I'm not putting any money on it. Honestly, the only thing that we've talked about tonight that I am going to put money on, I'm putting $10 on Kelce for MVP.
Do it,
because fuck it. Why?
I would love if you won that. Because I'll sprinkle a little bit on that.
Be a fun bet.
That's good odds too.
Because I hate San Fran. All right, let's move on to out of these prop bets to Super Bowl predictions.
See, if I were you, I would parlay a couple of that. I would.
Well, yeah, you're gonna parlay it if you pick him for Super Bowl.
Kelce column.
Yeah, if you're gonna pick him for MVP, you're obviously gonna parlay. Why wouldn't you?
Receptions, over tutties, over this. Yeah.
All right, let's see. So Super Bowl predictions.
God, if Kelce wins MVP, I'll be sick.
I'll take him over Purdy or McCaffrey, dude. I don't want anyone on San Francisco winning it. I hate San Francisco. Deebo Samuel yet again is talking about. Oh, someone asked him about the rivalry with the Eagles. He says, "I only consider rivalries close games." Asshole, you played one fucking game where you. What happened the game before that? You got your asses kicked. I hate Deebo Samuel.
They didn't have a quarterback.
I hate.
They didn't have a quarterback.
They did have a quarterback. What are you talking about? Did he not? Did he or did he not start the game? How many times do I have to say this on this podcast?
He started it, but they didn't have anything else.
Why did he leave the game?
His arm hurt.
His arm hurt?
Right?
Because he got hurt because the Eagles sacked him.
Okay, but his arm hurt.
The Eagles sacked him.
So the word "hurt" is in the same sentence as both of us.
Yeah, all right. I'm not covering this same shit 100 times in the podcast.
That's what we
do. Brock Purdy didn't slip on a banana peel. He started the game. They had a quarterback, and that's Kyle Shanahan's fault for only going to the game with that many quarterbacks.
Listen, McCaffrey was their backup. What do you want me to say?
Well,
I'm not even Niners fan.
It was Josh Johnson. Josh Johnson was their backup.
And then he got injured, right?
It's goddamn right, because the Eagles dictated that game.
Okay.
But all right, so
and then you guys lost to the Chiefs, which the Niners are going to beat the Chiefs and show you how to beat the Chiefs.
Oh, that would kill me.
That
would make me so. That would
your
make me so
biggest rival
sad.
teaches you how to beat the team you lost to.
That would make me so sad.
Because I think the Niners have.
We beat the Chiefs already this year, so we got revenge.
Yeah. Congratulations, regular season.
It wasn't in the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
but I'll tell you what, that would make me so sad if the 49ers won. So
go Niners.
You know how I'm gonna. Everyone knows how I think this game's gonna play out. I think it's gonna be a defensive struggle. I think both defenses perform very well. I think they hit the under. I don't think it goes over. I got to predict. I don't remember what the fuck I said last week.
47.5, though. That's like 24-24. What are you thinking? Like 17-10?
That's my 17-12, something like that. That's my prediction for this game.
Vegas.
I think San Francisco scores 1 touchdown, and I think the Chiefs score 2. So whatever field goals happen within that
will happen.
I don't think that either team is scoring 3 touchdowns. And I don't think either quarterback, honestly, I shouldn't bet. Now I'm thinking about this. I shouldn't bet Kelsey to be MVP because I don't think either quarterback throws for more than 1 touchdown.
So, okay. But if that doesn't happen, you're kind of hedging your bets here and saying, well, if they do, they blow it up.
Yeah, and the odds are really good, so I really should just put that on there anyway.
In most Super Bowls, and I always make this mistake. I think I always look at the first quarter over under because they always feel themselves out in the first quarter. That no one wants to fuck up or lose like a grip on the game, so they always we'll get down the field, we'll try to field goal, we'll punt it, we'll do that. They try to
makes sense,
and then they open up later on in the first into the second.
Once you start feeling maybe a little desperation or a little
once you know how each team is playing, because the thing about Super Bowl is they want to stay. It's the last game. Obviously, it's the last game of the season. Winner take all.
All or nothing.
They all want to it's a chess game. So it's like, I'm gonna move my pawn out for a minute, and then the other guy moves their pawn out. Then you're like, I'm gonna move my other pawn out, and then they react. So it's feeling each other out how they're gonna play it, and then they have the film or the pictures of how they're playing.
They're playing us like this. Let's do this because that's our plan.
And then they adjust. They have the pictures, they have the film, they have it on tape, and they adjust on what they're going to do. This is the game plan going in. This is how they're doing it. Well, let's change our game plan to this. On the same level to make sure they show that defense, but this is how we're going to beat them on that day. And that's why you see a lot of Super Bowls kind of spark up in the second, third, fourth quarter.
True.
I don't know. I can't remember the last year's Super Bowl, but was it like that kind of?
It was 35-38.
No, but I thought it blew up later on. They started going track meet.
I think it was 10-14 in the late second going into halftime or something like that.
And then I think they blow up more. First quarter unders or first half unders.
Makes sense. That makes sense.
I hate doing unders because life's too short to bet the under. So I might do something like that. I have to check the first quarter unders.
Well, moving out of betting. I know your heart's still thinking about betting, but just thinking about the game itself, and prediction wise,
Niners over.
Stop with the overs and on the unders.
Niners. Niners.
So you take it. You think Niners win outright, huh?
I'm surprised.
You think it's a close game?
Yeah, I do. I think it's. I don't think either team gets more than one possession up by 7 or 8.
So you think it's a 1-score game?
Yep.
Right. 49ers win by 1 score.
Barring any weird turnover in the fourth where the other team makes a field goal off of that turnover and now it's a 10-point game kind of thing and seals it. That's because that team the offensive team that's down by 7 or 8 might try to force it here and there. Turnover, pick, fumble, whatever it is. That team gets the ball back closer to their end zone. They run it. They settle a field goal. There's your 10. But other than that, I think either team's going to pull away from this game. They're so evenly matched.
Agreed. I don't think it's going to be a blowout either way, obviously.
If anybody blows anybody out, it would be San Fran.
You think?
Because I think KC, kudos to KC. This is supposed to be their down year, and we saw it. They lost at home a bunch of times. They lost home to Detroit the first game. They lost to Philly later on.
Should have beat Philly. They would have won if it wasn't for a Marquez Valdez-Scantling drop.
They got lucky against friggin' whatchamacallit? What's the fucking game? Shit, brain fart. They got lucky against
Is it regular season or the playoffs?
No, the playoff game.
Ravens?
Buffalo.
Oh, Buffalo.
The coaching in Buffalo, fuck Buffalo over.
I don't even remember that game.
The fake punt in the fourth quarter,
Don't
and
remember.
they snapped it to DeMar Hamlin.
Did they?
The guy, on like a 4th and 7.
Why the fuck did they do that? That's the wokest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Behind their own 50.
What the fuck?
In like the 40, like on their own 38 or whatever. And they tried getting like a fake
Are you
punt
kidding me?
because I don't know what
Has
happened.
DeMar Hamlin ever ran with the ball in his hands? Do you think they really just did that because he died?
I don't know. Like, I
that's
saw
the wokest stupid shit
saw a
I've ever
meme,
heard.
I saw a Twitter post saying, the Bills thought the Chiefs are going to give this Make-A-Wish kid a first down.
Yeah.
But
oh man, that was dumb.
the Chiefs need, the Ravens are the Ravens. Like, that was, the Ravens lost that game because they lost that game. Like, the Ravens had that game, they lost it. The turnovers, the shitty fucking interception by Jackson into three Kansas City defenders at the end zone. That's stupid. That's Baltimore being Baltimore.
But that's kind of why I'm picking the Chiefs to win the game is because all right, so
But the AFC was down this year. Buffalo wasn't good.
no, it's true. But where are the Chiefs better than the Ravens? Coach and quarterback. Right?
I mean, Lamar's the MVP.
But Pat Mahomes is way better than Lamar. Come on. Chiefs are better at What do you think? What do you think? Are you thinking right now?
MVP?
I'm not saying
This year?
I'm not saying who played better this year. I'm saying who's the better quarterback.
No, a one-on-one game, I would take Mahomes over. as a
Okay, you're making me
quarterback over.
worried here for a second.
But
I
he's the
was
MVP.
like,
Lamar's the MVP. He had a better season.
that doesn't make him the better quarterback.
Oh, he's the most valuable player.
He won the award. It doesn't
He's
mean
going to win the award. I think they do it tonight or like
Yeah,
Saturday.
but he'll win it. Or if
he'll
it's-
win it. He'll win it. But you know what I'm saying? I'm just
But this
being
is,
an asshole when I say that.
but this is why I take the Chiefs over the 49ers is because the same reason I took them when I was picking that Ravens and 49 the Chiefs game is quarterback and coach. Two most important positions on a team, quarterback and coach. The Chiefs, I'll take Pat Mahomes over Purdy,
They have
and
him.
I will take Andy Reid over Kyle Shanahan any day of the week, 10 times out of 10.
No, I get that. And one of the things that kind of worries me about the Niners is the coach. Kyle Shanahan. Like,
He's a weak link.
He's a great coach.
Great.
I mean,
He hasn't won a Super Bowl. He's a good coach.
Great coach.
He's a good coach.
Like he's
He's good.
great, good, whatever you want
Good.
to call it.
Great at scheming. Great scheme.
Great scheme.
Great offense.
Great putting his players in a position to succeed.
Well, except for his
Great
backup tight end last year, who was in charge of blocking Hassan Reddick.
Hassan.
That was a bad idea.
Well,
That's not a player in a position to succeed.
listen, we don't live in the past, bro. If you're gonna live in the past, live 20 years in the past, like full throttle. Don't live
Full in
one
the past.
season in the past.
Well, I still can because the Eagles have been the best NFC team since then. So I'll take second place in the whole league. I'll take it. Second place to the Patriots. There's 32 of us. We're in the top two, baby. I'll take it. I'll take it.
But
So
anyway,
what are you worried about? You see,
I think the only thing is I think Andy Reid. I've always thought Andy was like a buffoon, like just
because he's fat.
no, just like a stumbling guy, But
Yeah, you think he's a buffoon?
his coaching style, like, remember he came from like the Brett Favre Packer years.
Yeah, the Mike Holmgren
Yep,
coaching tree.
Yep,
Yeah.
like, and he's had success throughout.
Yeah.
And he knows how to coach. Shanahan, there's one. I feel like there's someone with a tuba like going turn like a Family Guy
Andy
thing
Reid.
as he like walks.
Not one of
back.
his sons, I'll tell you that. That's not who's playing it.
Oh no, gotcha. Didn't his son kill like somebody last year?
He had a son commit suicide. He had another son kill somebody in a DUI accident.
Was that last year?
Yeah,
Right before the Super Bowl.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, like, I think Andy Reid can outcoach Shanahan any day of the week.
Yeah.
So the only thing I'm banking on is the talent on the field. And I think the 49ers talent is above, a couple levels above the Chiefs talent.
As an overall team, I would agree. I think people are sleeping on that Chiefs defense, though. I think a lot of people are. That Chiefs defense is underrated, I think. They're not as good at defending the run, but against the pass, that Chiefs defense is.
Well, they showed, like, I mean, with offensive teams like Mahomes and the Chiefs and all that, you always get caught up in that.
Yeah.
But this year, more than ever, since they lost all those receivers and all that, this defense for the Chiefs is they started making a name for themselves. They kind of stood up a little bit more. But didn't they lose a lineman, a DL or D end in the Baltimore game? Like they proved themselves in the Baltimore game. They proved I was astounded by how well they played in the Baltimore game. It's like, wow, Lamar's the MVP. They have this so-and-so great offense. Lamar can do anything. Nope.
Did you watch my short, the podcast the previous week where I said there's no way they win that game? I wasn't stunned.
Yeah.
I saw that playing out.
I should have listened to you.
But that's why I think this is going to be a defensive struggle. Because Brock Purdy doesn't play well against good defenses. All the good defenses are the ones that he struggled the most against. He didn't. There was not a game this season where he played a top defense where he had a game.
How did he do against the Eagles? I'm just asking. That's not like a. I'm just asking.
So I don't know his stats against the Eagles, but there's two things with that. I remember watching the game, and I remember seeing Christian McCaffrey and Deebo Samuel running with the ball in their hands and nobody tackling. I don't care if you throw it for 1 yard and that player runs for 80 yards. So, that's not a quarterback stat. That's a stat for the...
No, that's the yak stats and all that.
Exactly. Now...
I'm not going to lie, Brady feasted off of that.
Look, don't poke holes in this, all right?
No. I agree with you. Brady feasted off of that.
I know there's holes in it. But
Brady feasted off that,
I refuse to give Brock Purdy the benefit of the doubt like Brady would get.
Sure. He hasn't earned that yet either.
He doesn't play well against good defenses. He loses Deebo Samuel. He lost 3 straight games in the regular season. 3 straight.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
This is going to be... If the Niners lose on Sunday...
I'll be so happy.
Purdy doesn't play well, do the Niners start thinking, go get Cousins, go spend money, go find another quarterback? Because he's not the
That's tough.
Is this like the,
that's a?
Is
tough.
this the point in the or Kyle Shanahan's career where he has to make a pivotal decision to say, I can get us to here, but that one game where you have 2 weeks to prepare, I need a quarterback that can perform.
That's a fantastic question.
No matter what, I know, right? I'm thinking that too because I thought about it the other day.
It's like Jim Harbaugh with Alex Smith and Colin Kaepernick, right?
Sure. Yep. But do they have who's their backup? Right? It's Sam Darnold, so he's not it. They would have to go out. They would have to go sign Cousins or something. They'd have to go find something. But
if it's not Kirk Cousins, it's nobody.
I don't even know if
I'm saying
money.
that. If it's Kirk Cousins or no one, they're obviously not drafting somebody.
They have the Niners top to bottom. If it's a Madden game, you would see you'd go through the depth chart. It'd be all 90s ratings plus, right? McCaffrey 90s, Deebo 90s.
They have a lot. I'll say they have a lot.
Probably a 90.
They get a lot of them.
Their defense is all they have. Studs.
I don't love their corners. I don't.
Yeah, but their linebackers and safeties make up for their corners.
Their linebackers and safeties are real good. The defensive lines are real good.
But the person that touches the ball 99% of the time.
Can we talk about last week, actually?
You can talk about whatever you want, baby.
Last week, when the 49ers, or whatever, the last game the 49ers played, Greenlaw, he suffered a fucking concussion and came back in the game, and no one talks about that. He tackled the tight end, Laporta. Laporta ran into him. Greenlaw, 100% got a concussion on the field and then came back in the game. And no one's talking about it. I guarantee you Greenlaw got a concussion. If you go back and you look at that footage, when Sam Laporta ran into him and he tackled Sam Laporta, he's knocked out on the field. He's knocked out. It blew my mind. I was yelling at the TV. I was screaming for someone from New York to get this fucking asshole out of the game. There's no way he didn't suffer a concussion on that play. You guys know what I'm talking about. Sam Laporta tackle, Trey Greenlaw, whatever the fuck his first name is. He should have been out of that game.
I've noticed that a couple times this year too. Just in the season where players are woozy and shit.
Yeah.
Even in college football, I've noticed because I'm a better. Obviously, we talked about that. I'm get this guy out of the game. Get him out so I can open up my bets. Like, don't worry, I'm gonna win this game if this guy's out. Shit like that. But like he comes right back. Like I'm like, what the fuck? Like I can't remember the specific time, but there was a guy. It wasn't Greenlaw. It wasn't this case. There was a time where somebody went down, woozy as fuck, got up, went to the sideline, and the announcers even said, "Oh, he's probably out. He's gonna get checked by the neurologist." He didn't even go into the tent. He didn't even go into that blue tent. It's like, oh, he's back.
And that was the issue that I originally had with that rule when they said people from New York or whatever could like pull you out of the game or some shit. It's like, who's deciding this? You could literally decide like, oh, this guy, that star player, get him out of the game. He's not coming back in because it looked questionable. You're playing God.
And it's not like they can't physically play the game.
No, but be consistent with the rule. If you're going to take one guy out of the game so he can't come back in, you got to do that across the board.
They do that with special teams players all the time. Like it's like, oh, you're concussed because the hit you just took, get out of the game. But star players, like I bet if this rule was in place 20 years ago and Ray Lewis was down or Tom Brady was down, they'd be like, go back out.
Get him up, shake him, throw some water in his face or something.
I do want to share a story. The Julian Edelman has a podcast, and he was on with Danny Amendola, both Patriot receivers when they won a Super Bowl, and they used to beat the system. And this is horrible to say. This is like I can't believe they even said it. They would go up like when they felt like there was one point during the Seattle Seahawks Super Bowl in 2014, 2015, where the Patriots played them. There was a point where Edelman got rocked, and you could tell he got rocked. And everybody knew in the stadium, and everyone knew who was watching on TV that he got rocked. And he was woozy. He went down on a knee because like he got hit and caught the ball, but he didn't realize he was down because you keep on playing, and he stumbled, kept on running forward. He got tackled, and then Amendola came up to him, and this is what Amendola and Julian Edelman were talking about on the podcast. They go, yeah, usually on those type of things, we get the guy, we get the receiver up, and we say where they are, what time it is, what down it is, like meaning like what state they're in, what down it is, it's first down, and what you just did. So they have the answers to the questions. It's a cheat sheet because those are the standard questions they ask them. So they're like, hey, you good? You good? No, I'm not good. All right, tell me when you have 2 seconds. All right, I'm good. And then it would say, all right.
Oh, my God.
We're in Arizona.
Wow.
We're in Arizona. It's 2:32 left in the third quarter, and it's and we're down by 7. Okay. And they would just go like, boom,
you got to pause.
Boom, boom.
That's crazy. Wow.
And they shared that on a podcast. I'm like, and they were like, yeah, we know how to beat the system. I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, I mean, it's players, and I mean, you wouldn't expect anything less from players,
you
right?
You wouldn't, right?
No.
But like for the fact for them to share that information makes you feel like, all right, well, like, and I'm not saying like Greenlaw or anybody like that was like he was.
I am. He 100% was concussed.
No, I'm not saying like that happened where like another defensive back came up to him and told him that, but they found out the rules and they learned how to manipulate them, which is more like, all right, Edelman, you're just like, that's cool and all to stay in this game right now and not get taken out. But in like 20 years, you're going to be praying. You're going to wish you didn't do that.
Yeah, maybe. Hopefully not.
If it's that serious in the head.
Yeah, I mean,
but isn't that
medically, you should never do that, clearly, right?
Isn't that like, everybody learns how to beat the system with cut corners, and I get it because you're a professional football player, fuck concussions, yada yada yada. But
yeah, if you were worried about it, you probably wouldn't have gotten to that level, right?
That they had a system in place, and I'm sure I'd put like $100 on it. I'm sure other players and other teams had the same system.
100%, absolutely.
So it's not like just the Patriots, but like it's like all right, because I'm sure that they were so open about it to talk about it because they knew it was a kind of a league-wide thing.
Yeah, absolutely. They wouldn't have talked about it otherwise if they felt like they were they were the only ones doing something so horrible.
You have a cheat sheet, yeah. But they don't think it's horrible in their eyes.
All right, give me your final prediction for this game. What's your final prediction? Score.
Okay.
Score. I got 17-12. I don't remember what the fuck I picked last week.
12. You have a 12? 4 field goals?
I'm sorry. 17. 17-15. I'll go 17-15.
5 field goals.
Nope. A touchdown and... No, I'm sorry. 17-16. A touchdown and
3 field goals?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me check the over because I'm picking the over.
I could see a world where either happens, but I think this is going to be a defensive struggle. I think like what you said is going to happen in the first quarter where the teams are feeling each other out and all that kind of good shit. I think defense is just going to own it the whole way through.
That always happens. So I think especially in Vegas, that stadium is so, I've been to it, that it's huge. It's encompassing. Like, you get in, like everyone's on top of you, but not really. The atmosphere is electric. They'll be nervous as fuck. They're going to try to figure each other out. So like the first quarter is going to be, let's see what's going on.
I could see the whole game being like that. Not just the first quarter.
No, not the whole game.
I'm telling you, I don't think either team scores more than 2 touchdowns.
28-23. Niners.
Wow.
That covers the over?
28-23 49ers.
That covers a field goal by the Chiefs in the first quarter? Yeah, 28-23. Or 28-24, one of the two. So I think 23 because I think the Chiefs are going to be able to score more field goals. They're going to get down to the red zone or, to 25. And that the Niners defense is going to like lock them up. And to your point, I think the Chiefs don't have enough defensive prowess to stop the weapon. I think Ayuk, watch out, like dark horse, Ayuk, not MVP, but
big game.
Big game. Over receptions. No, not receptions, sorry. Over receiving yards. He's going to score a bomb. Get a bomb or two. Plus probably a tutty. Maybe a tutty, but he'll have yards. Because he's like that dark horse.
I could see it. Ayuk's a great great wide receiver. So,
and I think Pacheco will score a rushy. Ever since you put me onto him, I love like
he runs so hard.
I had him on every single Chiefs prop bet or game that they played since like December as a Russian tutty for Pacheco, and he scored every single time.
He's a beast. He wants it. He's hungry.
And they feed him the ball. They save Mahomes too. Like down in inside the 10, they'll feed him. They'll run him into fucking the ground.
I hope he plows through that 49ers defense, buddy. All right, so we're hopefully you don't get as high of a win percentage as you did in the regular season with this one because I'm going to be pretty upset.
Go Niners.
All right.
Okay, I'm the best, so I'm right.
I got to take a monster piss. So last question, last topic here. Random question of the week. If you had to fight Kevin Durant, what would be your strategy?
That's interesting. I would God, I don't like. Do I have a weapon of choice, or like what do I do?
No. All right, so
just fight hand.
This is hand-to-hand combat.
Okay.
No weapons.
Okay.
I'll let you pick the scenario. So, like for example, I've given this scenario before to my roommate. He said, "All right, Kevin Durant's walking down the street. I'm catching him off guard, and I'm full on diving into his kneecaps."
Here's what I would do. I would put him on a super team that he develops, and then wait till he gets traded, and then he's gone. So I win.
That's not fair.
Because that's what he does. He develops super teams, and then he leaves.
Well,
no, I would honestly like. It sucks. I would probably, knowing his injuries, I'd like handcuff, like fist.
No weapons. No weapons.
All right. So the first thing I do, because he's so long and lengthy, would try to fake up, and then just dive at the knee. That's the weakest.
That's everyone's strategy when fighting Kevin Durant.
Because he has a weak knee.
Well, he's really tall. It's your strategy no matter what, right? Is you gonna dive at their knees and try and break their legs?
I probably could take a punch from him, but
Kevin Durant, yeah, I think like.
But another one when like a back to back, because if he's coming right, he's probably coming left right after that.
I think you could survive that.
I don't know, left or right
from Kevin Durant. He's a twig.
How much does he weigh? He weighs. He's 6'11",
but it's mostly bone weight. It's just bones.
Yeah, with the force he has, like, he's all muscle too. Like that's like not fucking around. He's got some force, and he's an NBA player. I would definitely try to go for the knee that's not good.
Go for his bad knee.
Bring him down to my level. Like I would like fake up, and if once he swings up,
yeah,
I would pray to God I'm fast enough to go down and just.
Are you going for a takedown, or are you going to like pop that kneecap out?
Oh, I'm going to like make his patella go like this kind of.
Oh, so you're going for a hyperextension.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then once I got him on the ground, work him. Just work him.
Ground and pound?
Yeah. You have to bring him to the ground.
You're not going to try and get a choke in?
He's 7. He's
well.
7
You said
feet.
Once you get him onto the ground.
Well,
you going ground and pound, not choke?
Well, I don't like him that much, so I'd work him a little bit.
You want to rough him up a bit?
Yeah, he fucked over the Celtics way back in the day. He didn't pick the C's.
Is that what you tell him while you were swinging on him? This is for the Celtics.
And I think he ruined the NBA a little bit by moving all these super teams together and moving around.
You don't think LeBron started that? Didn't LeBron start that going to Miami?
All right, so LeBron did, but Durant exploited it because he started just forming them.
That's fair.
Then he said no to the Celtics, and then he poached Kyrie out, and then he went to Phoenix. So like it's there's a lot of shit with Durant. I respect him as a player, love him as a player, but as like a NBA person that wants to build a legacy, he built it on like shaky grounds, and his knee's not good. And I would go after that.
I got to be honest. I don't know if I'm going knee first. I think with my size and weight, I don't even think if I did dive at his knee, it would really do much. You know what my strategy is? Right off the bat, I'm going to try and climb him like a tree and get behind him and choke him out. You know? I don't think he'd know what to do. It'd be like, this guy's climbing me. You know? And
all right, so that's cool and all, but like NBA players, their base is pretty strong. So he's just going to like flip you over.
I'll be under that chin. I'll be under the chin.
No,
he can't flip me over without flipping himself over.
What are you gonna like scale up his arms?
No. So I'll just climb up him.
Yeah. You know? So how you gonna be able to climb up him? He's gonna let you behind him?
I could, yeah. Maybe I'll.
You know how wide he is,
how
his wingspan is.
Maybe I'll catch him off guard and come up behind him. You know.
Well, that's not the. I thought it was like a face-to-face combat.
Well, maybe it is. All right. So
if you're sneak attacking him, yeah, of course. If you're sneak attacking, I would still go after the leg.
Well, all right. So here's the debate.
I go after the leg, knee him, and then go like this, and then choke the fuck out of him. But if you're like face to face,
I'm worried about catching a knee in the mouth. I'm worried about trying to hyperextend his knee, and in response, he knees you.
No, but when he's haymaking over here, he's putting all his base on the knees, so he can't have the ability to. Like,
so he's planting it.
Yeah.
You're imagining planting that leg and you're diving right at that.
Because when you're coming haymakers, you have to plant a base, right? You have to plant some type of base.
But see, that's how I'm imagining it playing out. I'm imagining him swinging, and I'm able to get an underhook somehow, wrap around him, and then jump up and grab him from around the shoulder and climb up and just get a choke in.
There's also another scenario where I would just sign him to like a huge contract.
Yeah.
To a super team, and then watch him leave, and then like, beat him up after. Or I would troll him on Twitter.
That's a good one right there. That's what I was hoping you might say.
I would troll him on Twitter.
Yeah. And create a burner account.
Yeah, and then have him like blah, 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 and then get his IP address through like cyber hacking, and then get to that IP address
swat him.
And wait for him to come home from a late travel.
That's a good one. Okay.
And then
you just sitting on his couch or whatever when he comes home.
Got him.
In his hotel room.
Got him.
Gotcha.
Got him. And I'd have a baseball bat or something and bang his patella.
There's no weapons. Can't do weapons. It's not fair, right?
True. Okay. So like I think
you can wait in his hotel for him while his lights are off and whatever. Dive at his legs before he turns the lights on when he comes back after.
Or
a game.
like at his house when he gets home from a East Coast trip from Phoenix.
Yeah, he's real tired after a flight.
It's 4 in the morning. It's
Perfect.
dark.
Oh, that's
He's
ideal.
tired.
That's ideal.
I can hide out in Phoenix outside all day because it's kind of warm outside.
Yeah.
So it's,
Yeah, you're good. You don't even need any supplies or anything.
So that's
camping
probably
gear.
my best bet is trolling him on Twitter and then wait for his burner accounts to respond. Hopefully from his Phoenix home.
Yep.
And then
while he's responding on his phone, you can sneak up behind him and
bingo. Bingo. But I got to get the IP address to where he's doing it from.
You're good. I'm sure he's not very careful. I mean, obviously, if people found out he has burner accounts, he clearly.
I would definitely like try to use Twitter as like a loophole in that.
All right. Well, this worked out perfectly. We're rounding right off at the exact 2-hour mark. So everyone, make sure you put your Super Bowl predictions down below. If you guys get the exact score right, anybody who gets the exact score right of the Super Bowl, I'm sending you a $10 gift card to Cumberland Farms.
Wow.
That felt genuine. So make sure that you guys put your Super Bowl predictions down below. You have to get the score exactly right. You'll get a Cumberland Farms $10 gift card. And if more than one of you gets it right, more than one of you will get the gift cards. I'm not just one winner, all right? Guess it correctly, exactly. You get a Cumbies gift card for $10.
Does mine count or do I have to comment?
Yours counts. No, you get a comment, actually. I need the engagement.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, guys. Enjoy the Super Bowl, and we'll catch you guys next week.